What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 15th to all of you. Thank you for, oh shit, my bad. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Another winning day for us yesterday. Things are just going swimmingly. I did wish I moved on the Mets. I planned to move on the Mets, and it's my girlfriend's birthday today, which is great. But I had to run around and do all this stuff yesterday, and right before the game was starting, I got this geez, I haven't bet the Mets, and I just wasn't able to get it in. But 3-in-1 day yesterday in MLB, which is a glorious. I'll take it any day of the week. We cashed with the Dodgers first 5 in full game. Tony Gonsolin there. There's a lot of pitchers that are just putting money in our pockets, and Tony Gonsolin is one of them. We want him to go up against stiff competition so we can get a somewhat decent line. So we cashed Dodgers first 5 -1/2, Dodgers full game -1. We cashed Miami, Philadelphia over 8.5, and then Milwaukee, New York Mets. It didn't end up mattering, but I guess it did. Well, I couldn't get what I wanted when we talked about the first 5 over 4 on the show. When I went to bed, it had moved to 4.5, but the 8 was still available at -105. I wonder, did they get that 4th run before the 5th inning for a push there? I'm not sure. It was 3-0 after the first. I thought we were in business, but I lost that one there. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about everything that we're doing here on the show. It's just all coming together. Stanley Cup Final, Game 1. We'll be talking about that with Mr. Gogster, and I can't wait for the game tonight. And remember that in NHL, it's the Stanley Cup Final. In NBA, it's the NBA Finals. I don't care if you forget. I don't care, actually. Viper MB in the house says 2-1-1 yesterday. Only got Twins first 5 -1/2 locked in so far. Let's get that cash. I've made 3 bets so far in MLB, 3 bets so far in NHL. I see that my man Dennis Garcia says, and here I thought Jimmy didn't want 600 on the game. So I'll let you guys know. I bet $125 on each of these games. So I wanted to go less than 150 even. I just don't want to. I think that I have an edge in Game 1, and I'm kind of nervous about saying that out loud. I'm nervous about saying that out loud just because I lost Game 1 in the Rangers Lightning series so badly. But I think I have an edge in Game 1, so I made 3 bets on it. And yes, I cut my unit size down to $125 a bet. And I pulled the trigger this morning with confidence. Vipe with the Fetty Fade. He's been doing very well with the Fetty Fade. James Lill, 3-0 yesterday. Would like another 3-0 day. Attaboy! James L. Attaboy. James S. has gave out a 2-game parlay doubleheader. St. Louis Cardinals money line cash. Gave out Dodgers Rangers run line cash. Attaboy, James S. Just feels like everything's running very smoothly for all of us. Real Deal Prime in the house. Top Set been running so hot. There's Nut Flush Allen ready to get to work. And look at Top Set. Swept the card again. I love this shit. Just feels like everything is coming together here. Art Hayes in the house. North Ender with the 7-3 day yesterday, plus 5.05 units in MLB. I love it. Jeffrey Moore swept yesterday. Jay Peasy. Did you guys hear Jay Peasy's fucking Pub Sports Radio freestyle? Jose, can we get that to play on the show? Okay, he's saying yes. Okay, when we get that loaded up here, we'll pop it in. Jose, let me know. We'll pop it in. It was just I should have got that already set up, but thank you. What a producer Jose is. I can just fire anything at him on the fly. Serious business, ready to get to work. Jeffrey Moore really liking the Diamondbacks. Michael Irvelina, I'm on the same thing. It's Faedo day, right? Tigers money line first 5. Says can't trust Velasquez because he's terrible. And I feel like the whole team is quitting to get Tony La Russa fired. I'm also on Tigers to score first, to plus 115, which I'm a little more nervous about. Danny Lopez ready to go. Cashman 19, 9-0 last night. Just fuck, man. We're just eating. There's Daby Cab, who's making his triumphant return for MLB. That'll be popping off probably in about 20 minutes or so. There's Moose Money. I've been watching Moose Money. He's great on camera. I'd like to get Moose Money here on the show as well. Says, morning, Pub fam. Get to watch you for the first time. It feels like months. I love it, Moose Money. We've missed you, and great stuff here. Been watching you rock, and respect, man. We love having you on camera here. Michael Irvelina. talking about Castillo. We have Slatsy, 4-0 in MLB last night. 3 plays come from the show. Best info anywhere. Glorious day in what should be an epic final. Bolts first period money line. I'm on that with you. Bolts money line. You got 5 cents better than me. And team total 2.5 minus 119. I'm nervous. North Ender says windy in Wrigley. There's Kyle Hintley. And God, just all I did was tail Kyle Hintley, and I'd be a much wealthier man. Shout out to Kyle Hintley and ready to go. Ich Schnizzle in the house. D. Jenkins, Ronnie and Bergia, LJ from H-Town. And I have a surprise guest joining us, making his Betting with the Bag debut. That's my guy, LJ from H-Town. He's going to join us tomorrow. I want more LJ from H-Town. I think he's a great capper and great guy. Look at that, Kyle Hintley. Look at that, Kyle Hintley. Wow. Occupancy cashing as well. God, it feels good. There's our guy, Julian Cesario, another 3-0 up $2K Monday to Wednesday. Holy fuck. You guys make so much more money than I do, man. But I love it. Whatever. I'm, you have to stick within your budget and your bankroll. And my dream is for my unit size to go up, and it's possible. It's possible we could do that at some point this year when the futures come in. I don't want to just do it because baseball's here and baseball's tough. We've been running nice with baseball, and my 150 unit, it makes me quite nervous. And don't say scared money don't make money, because my scared money's been making a lot of fucking money. Not as much as some of you guys, but my scared money be making a lot of fucking money. There's Tease in the house. Bang, bang, Tease. Making cash on the WNBA show. Fed us a winner yesterday with the Mystics. I say we drop it like it's hot if it's ready to go. Jose, you want to pop it off?
Buzz Sports Radio, where the G's go. Trying to get this cheese, so at least watch the money flow. Low Shack, betting on his lock shack. He got that betting with the bags, where the spots at. Get him, Jimmy. There ain't anybody better. Daby Cab, he's in Trout Wham Ski. Big Show, the man. Everybody love a Bono like he was Ray Romano, Steve Mac, Billy B, Ragu, Sugar Sharpie, Dutch Boy, motherfucking Fresh brings the best. Noli knows and Daryl coming straight from the west. Jose with the say, hey, razor is sharper, and it ain't shit without slaughter. Believe that. Nicky Fish Tanks, Gogster, ain't forgot about y'all. Low baggers.
Fucking bang, bang. JPZ, what a group we have, man. God damn, I love these guys. Fucking just, doesn't matter what the fuck's going on out there. We have this right here, and god damn is it special. Thanks to cappers like JPZ. Kyle Hintley is putting it all. Yeah, Jose says, yeah, we should talk to Jay about that. We should talk to Jay Peasy, get him in the booth. We should talk to, okay, we'll talk about that. We got some ideas. We got some ideas for our guy, Jay Peasy. I love it. Benny, ready to go. Gas report. Topset says you need to hit MLB for 2 weeks more. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but if you could help me figure that out. Kyle Hintley says Astros today. Richie Rich in the house. Cheshire Cat says it's been helping me listen to how you're doing stuff, sticking to certain pitchers that I trust and only bet when they pitch. Yeah, it's been working. Everything I don't want to get too caught. I don't want to keep going over it and over it, but it's been like 3 months where we're just fucking eating, and it's been the best 3 months of my career, and it's all of us doing it together. Oh God, oh man, that means so much to me. Oh man, Kyle said my daughter loves you. Reading her books last night, and she said, "Dad, I like Jimmy." Oh man, well we're a fam here, Kyle, and man, that means a ton to me. Means a ton to me, man. I can't wait till we can all hang out together, because our kids can all be hanging together. And there's so many of us low baggers with kids right around the same age.
Random question: what started your heater? Do you know what started it, or what triggered it? Was it after you came back from vacation?
NFL. It really did start more than 3 months ago. It was NFL. If that second half of the season. Remember, I was. It started when I was in down double-digit units in NFL. It really did. I went on that run. Or you could say it started when I turned my NBA around, but that kind of seemed to be around the same time. The NFL went on that second half run. The NBA went from the bad run to the good run, and then it's just been. But it's not all across the board glorious, because my NHL regular season was not good. So, but yeah, it's been the best run we've ever been in. Look at Richie Rich, $29,000. Man, that is incredible. And that's not the first time I've seen Richie Rich cash these bets, man. He's a killer. All right, you guys, let's get to work. Saturated. Oh, okay. I love you guys. Oh, and then PZ getting the love which he deserves. Okay, let's get to work right now. I wish I could give all you guys shouts out. You all deserve it. Thank you so much for the support. Having this opportunity to cap with you guys, it just means the world to me, and I wouldn't have it without your support. So thank you guys, and thank you to my producer Jose, who does such a great job. I sit around and I sit around and I think of this picture and I laugh out loud. There's so many different things that make me laugh here on the show, and so much of it stems from Jose and those milky tits that he flashed for us yesterday. He does a lot of good for us. Let's get right to work here and get into NHL. Mr. Gogster was part of our 11-0 plus 12.61 unit week last week in NHL. Thank you, Christopher Carter. It's, I've had a lot of rough months in the 5 years I've been doing this publicly. So to be on a run like this, let's just keep it going. Let's just stay in our shoes, keep it rolling. Let's bring on your next guest from Belleville, Ontario. He was just down for the Canadian RBC Open, which was an incredible golf tournament. Man, these guys really stepped up in the face of Liv. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gogster in the house. Gogster, how are you?
Oh, not too bad, guys. Top of the morning, tell y'all. RBC Open, no shortage there. 20,000 packed there on Islington and Eglinton, right in the heart of Toronto. Rory McIlroy, unbelievable. But with that being said, guys, shout out to Jay Peasy in that fucking intro. That was money in the bank. You're the fucking man, bro. That was great. Jimmy, let's get after this NHL card. Happy Stanley Cup playoffs. It's here, guys. Shout out to you, Jim, with Colorado, Tampa Bay. Nice call, my man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done it before, and then having both teams, because the only other futures was the Stars that I put in. That was just a much smaller bet, but I've never done this before. Hopefully we can do it again. I didn't parlay the two teams to win their conferences, and I did think about it. And I remember I had $50 sitting there. I was like, well, I've never done this before. Why would I just toss $50 in the garbage? So, but yeah, it's glorious. And as I said, I've cut my NHL unit size for this down to 125. So it's about 60% of what I usually do. Let's get to work. Slatsy says City's buzzing with the draft coming up here. Habs picking first.
Yeah, says, late draft there. I think it's July 7th this year. It's a little late, but yeah, it should be really good. Montreal too getting the first pick. That's in Montreal. That should be really fun for the city. But I'm excited for this Cup final, guys. It's fuck Jim. I'm in between. I can see it going either way. Vasilevsky, Francouz. Now, is it going to be Francouz or is it going to be Kemper? Who do you think is going to be in that?
I think it's Kemper from everything I've read.
That's what I'm thinking. I saw he was 100%. So with Kemper back, he hasn't played in a while, but Tampa Bay they don't scream offense to me. Just looking at their numbers here, Jim, 14 even strength goals for on the road. That's in 9 games. It's the power play, 9 goals for on the power play on the road. So can Colorado stay out of the box? That's going to be a big thing here, I think.
And I think that they will. Let's start with Dennis Garcia. He says comparing Colorado and Tampa long playoffs between series is silly. Tampa Bay is older, was on the road for game 1 and facing a team they didn't respect. None of these things are true for Colorado. They will be ready. And I don't agree, Dennis. I agree that there was differences. But when I went back after the mistake I made in game 1, teams just don't seem to be sharp after this long of a break.
Yep.
They just don't seem to be, or they certainly not as sharp as a team who's been playing consistently. So I hear what you're saying. Tampa Bay is older, and although, I mean, you have a 2008 Stanley Cup champ on the Colorado Avalanche, Darren Helm, but Achilles Pear says, listen to Dennis Garcia. I certainly do. I certainly listen to him all the time because he puts cash in our pockets, but I just feel that Lightning are playing on that edge that they played with when they took out the Leafs in 3 1-goal games. Look, I think the Avalanche are going to win the series. I think the Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup with or without Kadri. But let's break it down a little more. Vasilevsky is a very, very good goaltender. In the playoffs, he has a 2.27 goals against average and 928 save percentage, and he's certainly the best goaltender of the last since Dominik Hasek.
Vasilevsky, yeah, playoff goalie. I haven't seen anyone like this guy. Yeah, since Martin Brodeur, Hasek, way back. Vasilevsky is. It's tough though because going up against Colorado here, Jim. Just looking deep into how he's done against Colorado, it has been regular season, but going back to 2019, guys, Vasilevsky's 0-2-1. He hasn't beat Colorado since you have to date probably farther back before then, and I don't want to go for that any farther than 2019. 0.878 save percentage, Jimmy, with a 3.98 goals against. Now that is regular season, but that's all you really have to go off of from them playing each other. Kemper, on the other hand, he is 2-0 with a 0.929 save percentage against Tampa Bay since 2019. So the numbers are definitely, in my opinion, heavily in Colorado's favor here. But that rest factor you're talking about, that sweep from Colorado, I don't know how much it's going to help them game one, where Tampa Bay are coming off 3 days rest. So I can kind of see the angle of Tampa Bay here as well with that. But I don't think Tampa Bay or Colorado is just an offense that I don't think Tampa Bay is really seen. Like Florida didn't really execute anything in the playoffs, guys. Toronto did look good. Heck, Toronto, I think Colorado's is going to be similar to the series for Tampa Bay is going to be similar to Toronto, but Colorado's just much more, they're more seasoned, as you could say, than Toronto is. So it's a tough cap, Jimmy. Both of these coaches have a lot of stats, a lot of history, guys. The coach for Colorado here, Bednar, he's going for the Triple Crown, Jimmy. He's going for the Triple Crown. That's the Kelly Cup, guys, the Calder Cup, and the Stanley Cup championship, that being the ECHL, AHL, and now the NHL. So he'd be the first coach to ever do that as well, from what I was reading into. And then you're looking at Cooper too, the UCHL final. He won that along with the Calder Cup. So he's also had they both have good resumes, both coaches. I just think with all the what do I have here? The problems or the you could say problems Colorado have had in the past, losing second round series, now getting to this close, getting Kemper back. I do think Colorado is going to win this as well, the series. Now this game, a betting angle on this game, guys, I'm going with the old no goal in the first 10 minutes, Jimmy. I don't think this is. I was trying to almost force myself to take an over, but the more I was thinking about this, Colorado's first game back as well. Tampa Bay, they don't scream offense to me. They don't want to get in a goal. The last thing Tampa Bay want to do in this series, guys, is get in a goal fest with Colorado. Last thing. So I like the no goal first 10 minutes. I even don't mind a draw in the first period. I was going to play that too, Jimmy. It's plus 180 with 0-0, maybe a 1-1, but I think this is going to be even under 6, guys. I lean to this not being a 5-3, 4-2 kind of game. What do you think of the total here, Jim?
If you like Colorado to win it, I can understand trying to get over it, but the only way I see it going over is if Colorado is rusty out of the gate and Lightning are up 2-0 after the first. But then Lightning are going to park the bus. I see.
That's what they do, exactly.
I'll tell you my plan. Okay, if we wrote the script, now we didn't write the script for the whole series. I was wrong in Game 1 of Rangers Tampa, but once we saw that Tampa comeback, I became, even with, forget the futures for a second. It's hard to, maybe the futures were still heavily at play, but I became just this huge fan of this hockey team, seeing them come back from 2-0 in that hockey game. And I just felt like they were going to take it over. This would be my script, and it could be so wrong. But my script here is that the Lightning win game 1 and the Avalanche win the rest.
Wow.
And the Avalanche win in game 5 here. Now, I'm sure a lot of people, if the Avalanche are up 2-1 going into game 4 in Tampa, tons of people will be on Tampa. I just think Colorado's too good. I think Colorado's too good here. Let's talk a little bit more. The special teams of both these teams were almost identical during the regular season. Almost identical. And in the playoffs, the Avalanche are hitting 31.1% on their power play, just 75.7% penalty killing. I've made 3 bets on this, and we'll talk about it here. But let's talk about a couple other things here just to set the full table.
Yep.
The Lightning going for their 3rd straight Stanley Cup to cement this dynasty. First team to win 3 straight titles since the Islanders won the Cup 4 straight times, 79-83. They've won 11 straight playoff series. They're the first team since Gretzky's Oilers from 83 to 85 to reach the final in 3 consecutive years. Remember, 86 was the Steve Smith goal against Calgary when Calgary knocked them out. And then Calgary went all the way and then lost in the Stanley Cup Final to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Stamkos, Hedman, Kucherov, Palat, Killorn. This is their 4th Stanley Cup Final together since 2015. They've reached the East Final 6 times in that span. Avs have just 2 players who've won Stanley Cups, Burakovsky, 2018 in Washington. I already mentioned Darren Helm, 2008 with Detroit. But they were built by a Stanley Cup champ in Joe Burnaby, Joe Sakic, 2001 Stanley Cups. Cale Makar, I believe, is the best player in this series and will win the Conn Smythe Trophy. I've not bet that. I don't think I will. He leads the team in playoff scoring, 5 goals, 17 assists. Nate McKinnon, 11 goals, 7 assists. And Kadri has been skating, hoping that he can return from thumb surgery. Cogliano also is dealing with a thumb issue. Samuel Girard, broken sternum, is out for the rest of the playoffs.
Rough.
And Kemper, we expect to play. Speaking of Kemper, he has a 2.65 goals against average, 897 save percentage in the playoffs. And I think he's in trouble here early. I don't know. I think that if you were to say the Lightning, if you think the Lightning can win the Stanley Cup, you think that Vasilevsky is so much better than Kemper. And maybe that's true, but I just think it balances with how much better the Avalanche are than the Lightning. And Braden Point is going to play. He's not going to be 100%, so we'll see what he does. He
is going for sure, eh, Jimmy? Okay. I saw a
well, we haven't had 100% confirmation, but from listening to him, I expect him
to give it a go.
Yeah, I expect him to be in the lineup here. So Slatsy said, is anyone convinced Kemper is that guy? I've said it before. I've said I don't really see him holding the Stanley Cup over his head. But after watching...
It's tough. It's tough game ones, man. It really is. That's why I'm really humming and hawing here, just because you got to get you got questions in Kemper. In my opinion, I want to see too how Colorado's going to react, because St. Louis, guys, that's when they went 6 games. They swept Nashville. They swept Edmonton. Both teams lacked play. They a lot easier. When you're playing a team like St. Louis, that's very similar to Tampa Bay. That's a playoff experience team. They're going to beat you up a little bit more. Now, St. Louis had 9 goal scorers that had 20 goals or more. Tampa Bay does not have that. They don't have the same amount of power to score like St. Louis did. So I think this is not going to be the total. If you can get 6, I'm leaning to the under here, Jimmy. I really am. I did give out, guys, no goal in the first 10 minutes, plus 130, I believe it was. And I also gave out Colorado in regulation, plus 120. Reason being with Colorado here, I just think I gave out Colorado here. I'm kind of humming and hawing. I could see Tampa Bay winning, but reason being why I think Colorado is going to win here is just going to be their offense. I think they're too deep. I agree with your fact, and you're saying over time, like the more the games go on, the more Colorado's going to figure out Vasilevsky. I don't want to say figure out, but there's just a lot of they got the snipers, guys, in Colorado. Now, I'm not saying the Rangers didn't, and Toronto and Florida don't, but Colorado's just so fast. And looking at Vasilevsky's numbers, Jim, that's the big one for me here too, guys. In Vasilevsky's career, since 2019, he's 0-2-1. He's struggled against Colorado, and I think it's their fast pace. Now, Tampa Bay is going to have to slow them down. That's plain and simple. Now, can they do it? It's going to be another question. Colorado's just been really good at scripting up ways to, they swept Nashville, they swept Edmonton. That wasn't easy to sweep. That sweep against Edmonton was, that was impressive. But without humming and hawing too much more, Jimmy, I just think Vasilevsky's. I don't think we're going to see the same Vasilevsky we've seen the last 3 series. I think he's going to get a little touched up here, and Tampa Bay is going to have to go back to the drawing board. Where I just think Colorado's got enough full circle from top to bottom to beat this team, to beat Tampa Bay. As much as I do want Tampa Bay to close, it'd be nice to see Tampa Bay get 3. Being born in '93, I haven't seen the Islanders win those 4, so it'd be really cool to see them win. But I really think this is Colorado's time. It's going to come down to their goaltending, though. Francouz, guys, I have a stat here. Back in 2019, this is a little bit farther back, they won 6-2 Colorado at Tampa Bay. Francouz, Jimmy, 46 of 44 saves. The guy was really good against Tampa Bay. So who knows? If Kemper doesn't look good here, you never know. Could go back to Francouz, because the guy swept Edmonton, Jim. He looked really good. So there's still some questions, but I do think Colorado are going to come out on top here. But I wouldn't be surprised if, we've seen it before. It was that 8 days, that week off has played, it hasn't been good for teams, but I do think Colorado, what are they here? They're 5-2 at home, where they're on the road. Tampa Bay are only 5-4. So I also have that going for me.
I think that Colorado is going to win the Stanley Cup, but I have made 3 bets here in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm on Lightning full game at +135. It was a mistake waiting. I guess I was just not sure if I was going to bet at all. It was a mistake waiting. Mm-hmm. I got Lightning first period at +125, and I've got Tampa Bay Colorado first period under 1.5 at +115. I've got the 3 plus money spots here. Mr Gogster doing no goal in the first 10 minutes.
I like that one, yeah.
And he's doing Colorado in regulation. So he's getting +130 for no goal in the first 10 minutes, +120 for Colorado in regulation. So all 5 bets we've made are plus money, and I'm excited. Drew Daddy in the house. Jake Burns says Avs win the series. No 3-peat for Tampa Bay. Don Ricci not comfortable when he's on the other side of Gogster.
What's Tommy saying? What's Tommy saying? Yeah, he's on the other side, eh? Yeah. I'm almost on an island here. I feel like a lot of people are on Tampa Bay. I get it, guys, but East versus West, this Colorado team, I just think it's going to be tough. Now Tampa Bay, their defense is perfect, but nearly perfect. It's just going to be another thing, guys. Colorado, stay out of the box, Jimmy. If Colorado start taking penalties here, and they got 5-on-4s against with Kemper and net, that's not good for Colorado. That's the one thing that we can't have Colorado do here. If they can stay out of the box, 5-on-5, give me Colorado all day of the week, every day of the week.
And they're right about the reverse line movement in this one. The cash has been on Colorado since the very beginning of the ticket count. 59% of the tickets, 65% of the cash is on Colorado. And we've seen the market move towards Tampa Bay Lightning. You can care about it if you want. You don't have to.
I like that underdog.
And Lucas Ryan on Stamkos' goal tonight. Richie Rich expecting a very sloppy game by Colorado. Now, you got some great, Bruce Hayward's on your side with Colorado. You have Dennis Garcia thinking that there'll be no sloppiness. This is a different situation. I really thought that the Lightning would continue to be locked in game 1 of the Lightning series just because of their Stanley Cup pedigree. I think just to say that because the Avalanche are younger and at home that they're going to be locked in after this long break. I mean, I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. It's fun when we're on different sides of the fence here.
I don't know why I feel more comfortable now with Colorado as we're talking about. I think Colorado's going to get it. Tampa Bay has won 4 in a row. Are they going to get 5 in a row here after? They were down, guys. Too, wasn't it 2-0 against the Rangers, Jim? Or am I making this up?
What, in game 1?
No. In the third series, there wasn't the Rangers up 2-0, and then Tampa won the next 4. Or?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, guys, I really think Colorado, and also game 1 Stanley Cup Final in your barn. I don't know. I'm a hockey guy, that's all I can say. I guess I'm just an old Canuck, an old homer up from the north there in Bell Vegas. But guys, I'm rocking with the Avalanche. I've seen enough of the hockey playoffs, and I think Bednar is going to get the Triple Crown here. I think it's just Tampa Bay wants it, but I think Colorado just want a little more. I don't know how else to say it, guys. We'll see what happens. But
well, we will see. I like that all 5 of our bets are plus money. We're coming off an 11-0 week here last week with combining Gogster, Loshak, and myself, and that's impossible this week because Gogster and I are on the other side of each other here in the money line, or for the outright win. Very, 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 very exciting.
We both like Colorado, though. We both, I do agree. I think Colorado are going to lift the cup.
This is just going to be a hell of a series. All right, we are locked in, so we're leaning. So the no goal the first 10 minutes. We saw that the Lightning allowed a goal in 45 seconds of game 1 after they only allowed 3 goals in that whole series.
Yeah.
Whether or not you can trust Kemper, because it's not a 9-day break for Kemper. I mean, we haven't seen Kemper since what game?
It's been a while.
Game 1 against Edmonton. So I'm worried about Kemper here. I'll be worried about Kemper in the series, but the Lightning just aren't a team that.
I'll be keeping a close eye on Kemper. Really, I'm going to keep a close eye on Colorado. You'll be able to tell if Colorado's going to win this early. Well, not even that could change really, because Colorado guys, they could come out a little slow in the first and then just second, third, boom, 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 slap it right to you. They've done that a lot. We'll see. Kemper, keep a close eye on Kemper and how the legs of Colorado are early. Last thing they need to do is start taking penalties, get down 1-0 or something after the first. So, guys, this should be an interesting one. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm on no goal first 10 minutes. Colorado regulation. Head-to-head with my guy Jimmy the Bag. Let's see what happens here, Jim.
Let's see what happens. I will be texting throughout the game. Great stuff from Mr. Gogster. Stanley Cup Final, Game 1. Gogster's no goal first 10 minutes. He's on Colorado in regulation. I'm on Lightning money line plus 135. Lightning first period plus 125. And first period under 1.5. Because no matter how sloppy Kemper is, I don't know if the Lightning have the firepower to put up too many goals.
That's exactly what I think too. Yeah.
Nasty Nate about to head down to Southtown. Says get them frozen marks and grilled cheeses ready.
Let's go.
That's exciting. Thank you, Gogster. Much love. Follow our guy at EGO47 _. Mr.
Guys.
Gogster, enjoy the game tonight, and I'll be in touch, my man.
Be good, guys. Cheers.
Cool. There he is, Mr. Gogster in the house. We move on to MLB, coming off another winning night. It's been just a really nice run. God, it's only been 3 weeks or so, about 3.5 weeks. I was down 16.5 units. So we're up 2.47 units, not the high of the season. We got up just under 4.82 units on Thursday of last week. But we're coming off a 3-1 day. Cashed the Dodgers first 5 -0.5, full game -1. Cashed the over 8.5 very easily in Miami, Philadelphia, and then lost the over 8 -105 with the Mets Brew Crew. And your first guest, we've missed him dearly. And, man, I've got his record up here. He's been excellent and small sample size, so he's ready to fire away. Daby Cab is 7 wins and 4 losses on the show, 63.6% plus 3.24 units, ROI plus 29.45%, average line minus 103, coming to us from the great state of Texas. Please welcome to the show, Daby Cab in the house. Cabbie, how are you, my man?
Yeah. How's it going, Jimmy? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back up here.
We love having you, and this is a really interesting card here. Very, very interesting card. I've made 3 bets. I'm close to making more. We have a bunch of pitchers who don't have a lot of stats to go over here in the majors, but they have a lot of stats to go over in AAA, and we have where they were drafted and who they came up with and all that. So It took a lot longer to cap this card than others because of the research we had to do on some of these pitchers. But let's get to work. Jeffrey Morris is representing the Lone Star State. That one right there. Yeah. Daby Cab in the house. And Cab, will you be at UFC Austin with the boys this week?
I will, man. I will. I cannot wait. So we won't just eat those grilled cheese. We'll have some videos. We'll show everyone some of that Southtown food because we always see that advertisement. And the burgers always look so damn good. I'll eat it. We'll eat it. We'll show you guys. It is that good.
I did have a peanut butter burger every day for about 5 or 6 days. And then I just the Kraken and the peanut butter just stopped mixing well. And all right, let's get to work. AOD getting his head right. Birdie says, good luck tonight, all in the office today. Enjoy the finals. Thank you, Birdie, for hanging with us. Let's get to work in MLB. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins, 28-32, 13-18 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies, 31-31, 18-17 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The site that I use for the line...
I didn't have one either.
Movement. Well, but the site that I use is being... very poor. It was showing some problems yesterday, and it's just been trash today. So I guess I might have to move back to the Action Network, which I would prefer not to do.
So Fireside said, isn't Pablo Lopez going? So that's what I capped it as. But now when I look back at my thing that I have, he's not on there.
It's
and
Daniel
even on
Castano.
my book, when I went to bed, it even says undecided.
We think it's going to be Daniel Castano, the lefty. I've got a bunch of stats on Castano. Unfortunately, there's line movement issues that I think are so important with how we bet. I'm going to have trouble doing. I guess I'm going to have to pull up the Action Network here. But right now, Castano is at plus 140. This total's at 9.5. Daniel Castano is a 27-year-old. Now, we've seen him over the past 3 seasons. He's pitched a combined 54 innings for the Fish over the past 3 years. 10 starts, 5 bullpen appearances.
Okay.
In his career, he's 1-5 with a 3.50 ERA, 1.41 WHIP. Decent numbers. 54 innings, 27 Ks, 19 walks. Not the K to walk ratio that you'd like. 6 home runs allowed. He's a 27-year-old 19th round pick out of Baylor in 2016. For the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp this year, he's not been good. 4.82 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, has allowed 8 home runs in 28 innings.
Ooh, coming in against the Phillies today too? Gee.
Against the Phillies team that's raking lefties.
Yeah.
252, 771 OPS. And Kyle Gibson going for the Phillies. Kyle Gibson coming off a 7-5 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks. He's been pretty good this season, but the Marlins are raking versus righties.
Is it still at 9, the total?
It's moved to 9.5.
Okay.
Here, juice to the under at bet 365. D. Jenkins says Miami Penn will hold steady till late, like usual. They won't win this game unless they blow up Gibson. Jake Burns says Phillies with a 4-run lead yesterday, and Blue, I'm sure they will cover. Jeffrey Blue liking the over and the Phillies team total over. THC is Rizza is on the Phillies team total over as well. Achilles Paris is blind betting Phillies until they lose 2 in a row.
God, their defense is so bad, but they're so good at the plate. I was on the Phillies team total over yesterday, so that was a nice cash. I don't know why I kind of stayed away from this game because, like I said, for some reason I had Lopez when I first capped this, but that was almost like 12 hours ago or longer. I would think over that. I mean, but that's without diving into the numbers the way we like to do.
Well, let's do a couple things here. Let's start with the weather, and then let's see where the cash is in this spot. There won't be a lot of tickets counted, but let's start with the weather in Philadelphia and see if it's conducive for offense. There's very little wind. 3.1 miles per hour at first pitch, goes up to 5, slightly out, but right to left. And then we'll go over to the cash flow here, and we have 3,543 tickets in. 88% of tickets, 86% of cash on the Phillies, 65% of tickets, 87% of cash on the over. I imagine I'm going to pull up, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, it's a fine site, but I'm going to pull up the Action Network for my line movements today as the one that we want to use. Just must not have enough programmers let's move over here and see what the Action Network had this opening at.
Yeah, Viper said he likes the over, but he's off. I'm kind of leaning like that too, Viper. I do like the over here. I might even like the Phillies team total over again. I heard some of you guys on it. That I don't think that's a bad look at all, especially against lefties. I didn't. Now that I know it's a lefty, I can look back to yesterday. Hold on, because I have some of their numbers. But again, this is yesterday, so they've changed because they faced Rogers yesterday. But before yesterday, the Phillies were hitting 281 in June. It was about the same lefties versus righties for their season, but lately, like Jimmy said, they've been just destroying lefties. So I anybody that wants to look at the Phillies team total over, it makes sense, or the over.
LJ saying this game is over for sure. Marlins allowing 7 runs in the last 3. Phillies allowing 8 runs in the last 3. There's been a ton of offense. There's Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. He'll be on our show tomorrow for the NBA Finals. Christopher Comtine says not sure about Phillies' mindset after that loss. Daniel Lopez says might just play Phillies. So what happens often in these situations is we see 20 some odd runs, and then we get to the moving day, and
nothing.
The early game comes in, and the offense is just not to be found. We have a confirmed lineup for the Phillies. Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, Castellanos, Gregorius, Bohm, Herrera, Stott, and Stubbs.
That's a good lineup right now, man. They're hitting the ball very, very well right now.
Nutflush has always tread lightly after these high offensive days from yesterday.
Yeah, that's why that's like I said, I'm off this. I was just giving a little feedback to the people that did play that team total over. I don't hate it. I mean, obviously I don't hate it because I kind of thought the same thing yesterday, which is why I attacked Rogers and it cashed for me. And I can see this kind of being, I don't want to say the same situation, but it lines up.
Yeah, I'm not going to move on. There's still some 9s available. There's a 9 available at BetMGM according to Action Network. So if there's still 9s available, I guess I would.
And yesterday the thing is with the Phillies, because I had their team total over yesterday. In I think it was the first 2 innings, they had the bases loaded with less than 2 outs. They had no outs in the second inning and 1 out in the first, and they only got 1 run out of both total out of both. So it could have been worse. They could have scored more. Is my point.
Julian Cesario says, how y'all fading Phillies with a bullpen day for Miami? This Marlins bullpen has really been falling off over the last little while. Now it's a 4.33 ERA, 1.37 whip. Phillies bullpen, 4.26 ERA, 1.44 whip. Look, I get it. I completely get why you guys would want to go over. I'm not going to do that here on move. But look, it looks like a pretty strong lineup, as Daby said. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table here. It's moved to 9.5. It opened at 8.5 at some of these books that allowed people to bet it. Now it's at 9.5 in my book, and I just don't want it after a 20-run day. Dommy Gunn says Philly team total seems a safe set of bets.
Yeah, that's because I'm just not a fan of Gibson, man. He's not bad. He's 4-2, and he's a 4.41 ERA. That's who he is. Like, he's not bad at all. But he's just, the Marlins have been blowing up righties every once in a while lately.
They sure have.
And Gibson might be the type of righty that they could blow up. This is, like I said, over Phillies team total. Phillies team total, I think, might be safer than the Phillies, but I'm off, man.
All right, we have no moves for us here. Justin Bilbo, coming to us from Germany, says, after hearing you talk about it, I'm a lot more comfortable with my Phillies run line bet. Max,
hey, Justin's all the way here from Germany.
Yeah, man. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, worldwide in this. All right, D. Jenkins says Marlins will score today, then the bullpen will blow it. Best of luck, you guys. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, and that is 1:10 p.m. Eastern. The Chicago White Sox 29-31, 16-14 on the road. The Detroit Tigers 24-37, 16-19 at home. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Let's start with the weather in Detroit. It's humid, 91 degrees, 8 miles per hour right to left, and it goes up to 11 miles per hour. And we were supposed to have this massive thunderstorm at 11. It didn't happen here in Toronto. I'm just going to see Detroit weather if they're expecting one down there. No, it's just sunny and hot. So I don't know why we were expecting one here that didn't come. It got so dark and then just nothing happened. Up to 11 miles per hour and slightly in. It becomes more in as the game goes on. Let's see what the Action Network is giving us for this one. They have this total opening up at 9.5, and it's dropping. We have 9s, and our first 8.5 is on the board at FanDuel. Let's go to all markets here. The money line, the best money line for the White Sox was -116 as an opener. It's down to -103 and -104. So the market moving towards the Detroit Tigers, and I completely get why that is. I get it. Let's just.
I'm scared as hell, man, but I'm on the Tigers' first 5 here. God, they can't fucking hit, man. But yeah, I understand why the money's moving to them also. That's all.
Yeah, you know what helps a team hit is facing Vince Velasquez.
That's what I was thinking too.
And look, I don't know if we need that much if you look at what Faedo's been doing. But so according to Sports Insights, there are only 2 teams with perceived value today. There's a few slivers, the smallest I've seen. Now, this changes as the odds change, obviously, right? But right now, Detroit Tigers are full line value, and the Cincinnati Reds are 75% line value. Here, we have 5,447 tickets in, 63% of tickets, 84% of the cash on the Tigers, 53% of tickets, 79% of cash on the under. And I guess that makes some sense to me. Justin Bilbo is saying I'm a big Faedo backer. This is a good spot. First 5 under 5 here at -120. I guess I can understand the idea that the under would be live is that this bum Velasquez could have an okay start against the team that's hitting 212, 581 OPS versus righties. But the White Sox aren't hitting righties any harder, really. 232, 625 OPS. Velasquez, 2-3, 5.30 ERA, 1.40 whip, 35 2/3, 33 Ks, 14 walks, 7 homers. His last appearance was May 24th. That was his last appearance. His last start was May 19th.
Yeah.
So did they send him down?
I don't know. I thought he was. They either sent him down or he was having like issues. I don't think he went on any kind of injury list, but I think he might have just had to take a few games off. I think that might have been what happened.
Well, let's see if he has any minor league stats this season. None. So he didn't. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he certainly wasn't pitching.
Yeah, I think he had. I think he was like sore arm or something like that. I don't want to put. I don't know. Something was. I think it was just something like that though. And
his last appearance was pretty good, but it was in a 16-3 loss. He came in when the game just didn't matter at all, and he threw 3 innings, 5 Ks, 1 walk with no earned runs at home against Boston. His last start, May 19th, he went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 7-4 win at the Royals against a team that can't hit righties in a terrible ballpark for offense. Puzzler said left groin strain. And interesting note here, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, Cabbie, is that one of the things that Pete likes doing is trusting a pitcher off of a short DL stint that wasn't arm related.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because if it's arm related, I'd stay the fuck away. But like if it's something else, that makes sense because their arm's only going to get a little bit of a break and get a little stronger, you know. But I'm Velasquez is not who I'm backing still. Faedo, man, if you watch him when he throws, the whip that he creates with his arm, it's kind of what I did when I would pitch because I was like kind of lanky, right? And I love watching the way he pitches with that whip that he creates. I mean, I really like Alex on the other side. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And I'm not, you know, if this was the Blue Jays or the fucking Yankees or something like that, you know, no, I still wouldn't take the Tigers, but this is the White Sox with Velasquez, and the White Sox, I think they're a good team, but they're very, very injured right now. And right now they're not doing anything special. So
yeah. And they don't hit righties. And we talked when Faedo came up. We did a somewhat deep dive into him. We talked about his comments. I watched him being interviewed, and I said on the show, I'm like, I really like this kid. He would have come up with Manning and Scooball, but he had to go through Tommy John surgery. And he just seemed, you could tell the maturity of him coming in at 26 when he would have come in at 24. And I really like him. So I moved on 2 bets, and they're still available right now. I moved. Is it even the first 5 is available as well? Yeah. I'm on the Tigers first 5 minus 110, and I'm on the Tigers to score first at plus 115. So that first inning is extremely important, obviously.
Yeah.
I need finally to get through that first inning and then get paid. These are my 2 of my 3 bets. Right here is Tigers at 1:10 p.m. This game pops off in an hour and 15 minutes. Is there anything you want to make official here, Daby, or are we moving on?
Yeah, I'm on the Tigers first 5 with you also here. So, yeah. I think I got minus 108, but minus 110 is cool if that's what it is.
I can get you better than that. It was available when I moved on it at minus 110. It was available at Pinnacle at minus 106. So let's see what I can get you here at Pinnacle right now. We'll see what we can do here at Pinnacle right now. You can get the first half. It's moved to minus 109. I think that's a good sign. I'll check out Circa as well. I think this moves too. I think this, if you can get the minus 110, I'll move on now. I expect minus 115 or so by the time this goes. Let's just see if Circa might be hanging something better, and then we will move on to the next game here. First official pick from Daby Cab is in. And wow, it's
I'm sitting there. Yeah, I can't give any positives for this Detroit lineup, like as far as like hitting numbers or anything that makes this sound better for us. But I mean, like you said, man, if there's ever a pitcher to get right on, it's this guy, man. Come on. Like
Velasquez has in the past, when I just want to fade him every time he starts, and he has in the past pitched okay at times. But if you watch him pitch, there's no movement on his fastball.
None.
And you get raked when that happens. So Don Ricci says Tiger pen is decent. Tiger's pen is really good. 2.97 ERA, 1.14 whip. White Sox bullpen 4.31 ERA, 1.39 whip. The reason why I'm not taking them full game, which I could completely understand, is because I still fear the White Sox lineup so much more than the Tigers lineup. So I'd rather just cut it down to 5 innings. That's why. And Crigios just cash. So great job for everybody. Okay. Let's roll on. So I wonder if anybody can find a better price for Cab. He's on the Tigers first 5 at minus 109, but I like the fact that it's moving in the Tigers direction. Okay, let's roll on. Next up, 2:05 p.m. Eastern. We've got some nice afternoon action for us today. Houston Astros at Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Astros 38-24, 22-14 on the road. Rangers 29-32, 14-17 at home. Globe Life Field, as I said. So we can imagine for sure that the roof is going to be closed. It's very hot down there. Luis Garcia on the bump, going up against Tyson Miller. I believe it's Tyson Miller. So this is his second career start for Miller. He's a 26-year-old fourth-round pick by the Cubs out of Cal Baptist in 2016. He had one start in 2020, and he got touched, and that was for the Cubs.
Okay.
He's been pitching at AAA Round Rock for the Round Rock Express this year, and he's not been good. 2-3, 5.02 ERA, 1.54 whip. We know that there's a lot of offense in that league, so it's not horrible. 37 2/3. He's allowed 6 homers. He's a nice K to walk ratio, 50 Ks, 14 walks. Going up against Luis Garcia, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 7 Ks, 2 walks, and 7-4 loss at home to Miami. And as we said, Miami's just raking righties right now. Viper says the total has gone under in 7 of Texas' last 8 games at home. Brant still
the
like
Astros go under all the time anyways, so
totally. And I've lost a ton of money with a vividness bias over the last few years of thinking that they're going to put up runs and just having this memory. And especially we've talked about it all year, and I haven't been losing money on them this year, but we talked about it all year how they don't hit lefties like we remember either. Rant says Garcia gets hit usually. Coin says Stroh's unders have been an ATM. Kyle Hintley putting a big boy bet on the Houston Astros.
Oh shit.
Houston.
I was on the Astros yesterday. I had their money line, and they cashed that late, which was nice. It was lovely, but I don't like needing a fucking rundown. I don't like needing an overthrow on a rundown to get the win. I mean, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it, but God, they.
Well, I was talked off the Rangers first 5, and I'm fine with that. I still think that I would be losing money if I always stood my ground on these bets instead of just letting people talk me off certain ones. But here it makes me nervous. Astros versus righties 240, 730 OPS. Rangers versus righties 233, 658 OPS. Astros bullpen 2.70, ERA 1.14 whip. Rangers bullpen 3.53, ERA 1.23 whip. And let's see what we are dealing with here from an odds perspective. Sorry, that's Pinnacle. And I'll see if this is updating at all. It's still not updating. What?
I was going to say, do we have a total or anything on this yet? Because when I was capping, I didn't have hardly anything for this game.
Yeah, we have information here with Garcia versus Miller. Let's just go to action to see what they opened things up with here. They opened at 9, and it's moved to 8.5. It's moved to 8.5 at DraftKings and Bet Rivers and Sugar House and Unibet. There are still 9s out there, but it's moved to 8.5 towards the under with those two teams that aren't hitting. The market hasn't really, it's been the tiniest move towards the Astros, like a 5-cent move towards the Astros. Taint play of the day is in, and it's on the Toronto Blue Jays and Jose Barrios today. And I stayed off the Blue Jays last 2 nights, and so far that was a good move. When they came out with Barrios at minus 300, Dennis Garcia joked that there should be another 0 on the back of that. It should be minus 3,000. And it made me happy to hear that. I didn't know he was probably joking, but it still made me happy to hear that. Barrios has looked very good in the last little while. I love the bet. I've not moved on the Blue Jays.
I did, but I'm on their team total. So.
Okay, well, I look forward to talking about that game. Taint is in, but here I don't feel any interest on either side. We talk about.
I have nothing for this. I can talk about it as much as you want, but I can tell you right now I won't make a play on this just because I didn't have as much information as I would have liked when I capped it, and I feel like I dodged a bullet yesterday with the Astros.
I get it. One of the things, are you gambling or are you making like an educated investment?
Exactly.
And so I've been trying to stay. Look. And you know what's happened over that, and I know why it's really happening. It's because I'm not in danger with my bankroll, but I used to get these huge, like my palms would just start leaking, and I would be pacing back and forth watching games. I'm just pretty relaxed these days.
What? Seriously?
Yeah. And I had 15 bets 2 or 3 weeks ago at 150 a pop, and I went 11, 2, and 2. And I wasn't nervous. I remember seeing it, and they're like, "You have 15 bets today," and I was like, and I actually wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous watching the games. Usually, I would be like, "Oh God!" And every win, I would, you know what I used to do? This is how you know you're losing. Again, like every win, I would imagine that I'm going to lose every single bet, and I would put the number out that I would lose, and then every time I'd get a win, I'd cut that number down and cut that.
Oh no, Jimmy!
Yeah, that's how bad I was doing before.
Just to make so it's like, hey, no matter how bad it is, I'm gonna feel better than what I thought it was gonna be. Like, come on.
Now I'm just relaxed. Top set tonight, Rangers first 5 and took Astros live. Called it on the other show. Love that.
Beautiful.
Lucas Ryan says because you're a Cabbie veteran, Jimmy Sweats are for us kids. No, it's not. It's because of your bankroll. It's about your bankroll. When your bankroll is in jeopardy and like you're a mess. It's your bankroll is will only bring if you can have control of your bankroll and have a nice, one of the things that people have, thought that I was making was not leading by example with was my own bankroll management because I was using a local with credit and people were seeing the amount I was betting and they were like, well, you probably shouldn't be betting that much. And it was a fair thing to say. So,
yeah.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We are staying off of this spot. North Ender says, I've also been much more relaxed. Yeah.
That's good.
And spreadsheet stat play, wow, is a Toronto run line. And now look at that number, 27-1. Jared TG says, always expect the worst, always hope for the best. And Kyle says that's what he uses. He says this is the worst thing that could happen, and then he kind of fixes it. Joseph, okay, let's keep rocking. Let's keep rolling. We're off that game, and good luck to those of you guys that move on it. Tyson Miller and Luis Garcia are just total gambles and coin flips, but then you're pitching in a stadium that's very difficult to put up offense against teams that aren't putting up numbers. And you see a total with these two bad pitchers moving from 9 to 8.5. And
yeah, exactly. Because what's sad is like kind of what I would think would be, and this is like a sin to say with the Astros, hell, or the Rangers, but I would think first 5 over, and I'm not doing that. Like,
yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Let's move on because this next game is extremely interesting. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 23-39, 11-22 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 29-35, 14-18 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Luis Castillo going up against Zach Allen. Castillo 2-4, 3.23 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 39 innings, 37 Ks, 13 walks, and he's allowed just 3 home runs. And he's pitching at an elite level. One that we've often expected from him, and he's showing us signs where he can pitch like this. He went 6 innings last out, 6 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 2-0 loss at the Cards. He was very good. Zach Gallen is starting to get touched, and I wonder if this is the perfect recipe for him to get right here against the Reds team that is hitting righties harder, but 237, 684 OPS on the season. Same OPS that the Diamondbacks have against righties as well, but with the lower average for the Diamondbacks, they have a little more power. James Little taking the Wings +5 first half, says less cash early morning money today. I like it. Moose Money says Gallen's been struggling. 14 runs in his last 4 starts. In his last one at Philly, he lasted 1 2/3 innings. 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 of which were earned, 2 homers, 2 Ks, 1 walk, and 7-5 loss at Philly. That was up against Gibson.
This is a tough game. This is a tough game to cap right here. I initially liked the first 5 under a lot, but then everything you're saying and what the chat's saying right now is kind of what kept me off of it. Was, as much as I like Gallen, I'm worried that the Reds might touch him up a little bit. But it's a tough game to cap here, man. Gallen has looked shaky his last few starts. I really have to agree with that. Obviously, his last start where he got through 1 2/3, he definitely looked shaky. But it was more than that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like you could just tell as you were watching it, you're like, oh, this is not going to be good, right? You could, before it happened, you could see like, oh shit, this is about to blow up fast. And I don't like that, man. I don't like seeing that. And after everything I've said, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you said the line value. I mean, this might be a spot for the Reds here.
Well, some of these, I have to do what I did yesterday. Some of these spots I can go back to the Bet365 line movement, but it's just a little trickier. It opened at 6:38 p.m. yesterday with the Reds at +110. Moved to +105 at 11 p.m. They're +100 right now. So we've seen a 10-cent move towards them. We've also seen a move to the under. It opened at 8, -120 to the under. It's now 7.5, and it's moved quite a bit because it's -115 to the under. So it's gone down a half run, and the under is still juiced. So that's what we're dealing with, Arizona. We know that the roof will be closed with the heat that's happening down south. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this Diamondbacks spot. So we talked about it off the top. There's full line value for the Detroit Tigers and Faedo. There's 3/4 line. This is according to Sports Insights, 3/4 line value with the Reds and Castillo. 27% of the tickets are on the Reds, 45% of the cash. Then 44% of tickets on the under and 79% of the cash on the under. We talked at quite a bit of length yesterday about when do you believe a pitcher is going to bounce back after a bad start? And here's the perfect example. The perfect example of, do you believe that Gallen will bounce back here? Lee Davis says, kind of looks like Gallen gets hit on 4 days rest and does well on 5 days rest. He's on 4 days rest today. Puzzler says, this looks like a first 5 full game over to him. Coin Cincinnati is 4-0 to the under in Castillo's road start. Saturated on the Reds team total over 3.5.
This game is so tough to cap, man. It's so back and forth. You can make a case for so many different things on it, and that's the problem with it, in my opinion.
But you know what I think is the one thing we could probably count on is Castillo to have a good start.
That's kind of what I was thinking right there, and that's why I was thinking Reds first 5. But first 5 under was my initial look, and then I don't know, something just didn't feel right. And since then, I wrote maybe Reds. That's what I have a whole page of cap towards this, and it says maybe Reds. Like, good job, Cab. You came up with that.
Well, let's look at Castillo's splits here and his game logs. First off, he's been much better on the road than he has been at home. Let's not bother looking at the day-night splits. He's only thrown 6 1/3 innings in the daytime, so who cares? But on the road, he's 1-3 with a 2.35 ERA, 1 home run allowed. So the one thing and Stimmy is my man Stimmy OG's on 5 over 3.5 Ks.
Wow, I like that. That's low. I didn't know. That's probably nice. Juiced, isn't it?
And Don Mack, look at this. Says I want a future bet on Gallen Tommy Johnson. It's coming soon. So, and look at Officer 50 Yashiala is on Reds first 5 plus a half and first 5 under 3.5. Well, let's just, before I decide that I'm going to move on this, let's take one other look here, and let's go into the batter versus pitcher quickly. God, sorry, I have too many tabs up. I'm just gonna. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. Batter versus pitcher, and then Then I think I'm gonna move on the Reds first 5. So, Castillo is pitching it with a lot of confidence. I love that last start against St. Louis. It was really impressive, and the Diamondbacks don't scare anybody. And so let's go to this matchup here. We have Arizona against Castillo. You have Pavin Smith, who's 3 for 3, no homers, no RBIs, and nobody else has touched him. Ketel Marte is batting 215 at bats. David Peralta 205 at bats. Carson Kelly hasn't hit him. Christian Walker 1 for 6. And then you have some guys on the Reds that have got to Gallen. Okay, talked out and done for me. I am on adding the Reds first 5. See what I will get after the show. Let's see what I'll get right now, just so I can compare. Right now, if I moved on Reds first 5, I'm getting plus 105. I'll take it. It's a no vig situation. We'll see what it is here when it's time to make moves. But Reds first 5 plus 105 for me and Luis Castillo. Anything you want to make official, or do we move on to Royals Giants?
Man, I'm going to circle back to this. I might join you on that Reds first 5 because that's really what I think. That's what I think it might be. I've got 3 plays right now, which I know isn't a lot. I want to be like Ragu and go 9-1, but 3. I got 3 right now. A couple leans. I might come back and join you on that. I will for sure tweet it out if I do, but for the moment, I'm gonna hold off.
And that look by Robert Cherry, our guy, I'm getting Northander impressed on the speed of the enunciation of Officer 50's name, Ayashala. He has Castillo over 5.5 Ks at minus 110. And my guy D Jenkins saying Diamondbacks most strikeouts in the league against righties. Says that Castillo K prop isn't a bad look.
That's true.
All right. And Lucas Ryan saying I feel this score is over. I'm comfortable with this, and I like this addition. Fireside says, here's my simple take on this. Reds won a close game, and the Diamondbacks won it back from last night. Gallen is in a get-right spot. Reds are the team to get right.
Reds have been hitting well lately, though.
But he's saying that Reds are the team for Gallen to get right. Look, I think that Gallen will get right here, too. But I know, or I can have a ton of confidence in Castillo having a good start. And would it shock you if Gallen allows 2 runs in 5 and it sort of is a get right start spot for him?
You know what? Christopher Carter said I could get down with the Reds team total over. Shout out to Nutflush too. Sometimes with certain teams, man, those team totals. You're never mind, because your whole thing was you think Castillo is going to have a good start, and I do too. But yeah, I don't hate that because it's going to be a 3.5, and I could easily see the Reds scoring 4 runs.
Going back to Gallen's start, so yeah, he got touched by the Phillies, who are raking. He had a nice start at Pittsburgh, 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Still, the K to walk ratio is just not good. Then versus Atlanta at home, he had a nice start, 5 2/3, allowed 2 earned runs. Against the Royals before that at home, 6 earned runs, 7 hits. I just feel like I can count on Castillo. And if I'm getting a plus line, Noli No says that India's back for the Reds. If I'm getting a plus line, if I could have beaten that movement at all, I imagine that there was a 4 available when the line came out for first 5. If I could have gotten that, I would like to make a move on Gallen getting right here.
Yeah, my initial cap, like I said, my very first thing was the first 500 that I liked here, but something just, I don't know what it is. Maybe Noli hit it on the head. I look too much like an overbetter.
Piker says Reds are the sharp side. Certainly looks where where the money's going, and I'm comfortable here backing Castillo first 5, and that will be my first addition to the card. We're gonna circle back with Daby Cab. Let's roll. Noli knows here in the house. He will be our MLB guest next Wednesday, as June 22nd. You'll see Noli knows right here on the show. Let's move on. Next up, 3:45 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 20-41, 8-20 on the road. Matty Ice says Reds money line is on his card. And Christopher Comentini got the under 4. Did great work. Great work. At the San Francisco Giants, 35-26, 19-13 at home. Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. We have Jonathan Heasley going up against Sean Jelly of the Giants. Jelly is a real interesting pitcher here, a very highly thought of prospect, 25 years old, second round pick in the 2018 draft out of the University of Kentucky. And he's made 3 appearances for the Giants. So you could imagine this is probably bullpen day. But Jelly is a pitcher who is a starter at AAA Sacramento River Cats. And it's tricky to break down PCL pitchers. I've always struggled because there's pitchers that come in, it's such an offensive league, and there's pitchers come in with a 5 ERA and pitch really well. And here we go with Jelly. 4-3, 5.28 ERA, 1.46 whip, 46 innings, 36 Ks, 13 walks, and 6 home runs. And I would sit here thinking that this guy's got a really high upside going up against Heasley, who still has that K to walk ratio that's atrocious. And Heasley is coming off that start against Zimmerman when he pitched pretty well. Heasley pitched pretty well. 1-3, 3.62 ERA, 1.36 whip for Heasley, 32 1/3, 22 Ks, 18 walks, and 4 homers. Royals versus righties, 239, 667 OPS. Giants versus righties, 247, 15 OPS. This Royals bullpen is so bad. 4.84 ERA, 1.54 whip. This Giants bullpen actually got off to a good start to the season. It's been so bad. 4.15 ERA, 1.33 whip. So let's go with the line history here and see if I can pull it off of Bet365. I won't be able to, so we'll use the Action Network and see what we have from them here. They have this opening up at 8.5. The total, it's moved to 9. They have a 20-cent move to the Giants at home, opening up around minus 200, and now sitting at 10 to 20 cent move. There's minus 2 10s on the board. There's also minus 2 20s. So that's what we're doing there. We'll go over to Sports Insights and see where the cash is in this Giants game. And here we go. We have 3,883 tickets in. 10% of the tickets are on the Royals and 58% of the cash. The backing Heasley over Jelly. And
damn.
I mean,
damn.
I don't know. Look, Heasley looked better last out against the Orioles. I don't know if then from a total perspective, 31% of the tickets are on the under, 55% of cash is on the under. Yet we have this move from 8.5 to 9. This feels like gambling here. This feels like gambling. CT Bays in the house. Great to see you, CT Bays. Jerry Young saying the ump is 6-0 to the over. Take it away here, Daby Cab. What do you think of this very tricky spot, Heasley Jelly?
You'll notice a trend here, man, with the questions on the spots with the pitchers. I don't have a whole bunch capped for it, and like you said, it feels too much like gambling, man. It feels too much like gambling, man. Like, what do you want me to do? Back the Royals here? Like, that's not going to happen.
And it says here that Sam Long might be starting is what Puzzler is saying from RotoWire.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the chat blow up with the over here, man. If you can get a few runs from the Royals, I think you can get over 8 in this game. I'm not betting it, though.
There's Arthur Mead. Nice to see you, Arthur Mead. Matty Ice says KC or nothing. So if it goes Long, it's going to be for sure a bullpen day because Jelly is expected to throw at some point here. The Giants' bullpen has been a little better over the last little bit. And let me just confirm that stat. Because if that's the case, You know what? I'm one of the things I'm not going to do is go up against a spot
with
where
that kind of
10% of the tickets and 58% of the cash is on one side. But I wonder, let me just quickly see. Let me just go to the last 7 days and see, or maybe 7 days and see where if 7 days, is that a sample size we could even trust? You're right. This is not.
So we're all going fishing on Friday, and Nate just said that I have to sleep in the hot tub after catching the smallest fish.
If those are the rules.
All right. Well, somebody else is going to be sleeping in the hot tub then when I win. I'm going to hold you to that.
All right, let's go. So let's go last 7 days here and take a look at the Giants bullpen. Because I don't want to say that they've been improving if I can't verify that with numbers. Last 7 days. Come on. Oh, here we go. Last 7 days, the oh no, they're not even giving me last 7 days. They're giving me just year to date because I'm using really. God, what a shit! I gotta switch. This site's garbage. Okay, Arthur Meade has the Argos tomorrow -3 over Montreal. CFL rolling. I can't wait to talk about that spot. We will do that tomorrow. This game I just don't want to be involved in. I can understand.
I don't either. I didn't mean to be so short with it, man. But
no,
there's no reason in pushing this one.
I hear you. Let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. This is the last afternoon game on the docket. Minnesota Twins 36-28, 16-14 on the road at the Seattle Mariners, 28-34, 14-13 at home. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. We have Sonny Gray going up against Marco Gonzalez. So Sonny Gray was on the DL for not too long. I believe it was moved back to the 30th was the date that they used for him. It was a right pectoral strain. So his last start was May 29th. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 4K, 0 walks, a 7-3 win at home versus the Royals. He's been very good this year, and the Twins have been winning almost all of the starts. He's 3-1, 2.41 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 39 Ks, 33 2/3, 10 walks, 3 home runs in those 33 2/3. Bruce Hayward is on the Twins money line. And Mike M says Flyers making an offer to Torts. Oh, God, I'm not a fan of that guy. CT Bay saying, love the Twins today if the lineup is full. Mad Stoney liking Buxton, 2+ bases. D. Jenkins on Twins, team total over 4.
I like that team total over here.
It's now moved to -115. Daby liking that team total over against Marco Gonzalez. We're at T-Mobile. Let's just take a look at the weather and see if there's help here with the weather. We didn't talk about the weather in San Francisco. That was my bad. 60 Fahrenheit, 8.8 miles per hour out, and it goes up to 12.4. So it's pretty offensive weather. For the Mariners game, 64 Fahrenheit, left to right, and almost no wind at all. 2.9 to 4.0. So that nothing big there. We'll take a look at the line history in this one. It opened at Bet365 at -135 for the Twins at 6:38 p.m. And right now, the Twins are -145. So we've seen a 10-cent move over to the Twins. And from a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5 at -110. It's now 8 at -105. So it's gone up the half run. And when we take a look at the cash here, CT Basing Arise breakout makes Twins lineup looks really good.
Man, Twins are. I wish I got them before it moved, man. Twins. They've been hitting in the month of May. They hit 262 as a team, and the month of June they're still hitting 260. So they've just been all around tearing the cover off the baseball. And like you said, Gray's been good this year, man. Gonzalez on the other side. If you look at his numbers, he doesn't look so bad. Like, he doesn't look horrible, but he's one of those pitchers that he doesn't have elite stuff, right? It's just not elite. He's not bad, like I said, but it's not elite. His last start, 2 out of his last 3 starts, he did go 7 innings, which is, that's amazing. So I can't take that away from him. But, against this Twins lineup, with the way that they've been hitting, 7.5, man. Like you guys were saying, that 4 on the Twins team total, man. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I can see it as well. Although and I'll pull up his splits here in a second. There's times when Marco Gonzalez can shut down.
Yeah, he can. He can. I don't know, man. I think he's about what he is. I think he's a guy that good hitting teams are going to get to, and he can shut down, average teams. And I think right now this Twins team is a really fucking good hitting team from top to bottom.
They don't have a ton of power versus lefties. 248 average, 705 OPS.
Yep.
Mariners is righties, 243, 715 OPS. Twins bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Mariners bullpen 4.15 ERA, 1.18 WHIP.
One of those things with the Twins too, though, to look into, like you said, they're hitting 248 off lefties and 252 off righties, but it's that for the last 2 months, right? It's what they've been doing the last 2 months, and I should have more stats like to either back you up or go against what you said with the lefties, but the last 2 months, everything has changed, right? Their batting averages are low from the start of the season.
And here, so this is an interesting market. You can take it. Everybody takes these things differently, but here we have 83% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. And we've seen the market move 10 cents.
Damn.
So LJ says Mariners are 80% to the run line as a home dog. Twins are 6-11 to the run line as a road favorite. Matty Ice said I'd be careful to trust Sonny. Again, coming off that right pectoral strain.
I kind of think the same there. That's why if I was going to go with this, I would look at the Twins team total. Moose Money said he's got Twins team total at 4 minus 115.
Matty Ice says no play for him. CT Bay says imagine what those stats are when Correa and Buxton are both in the lineup together. When Buxton was in Toronto, all they were talking about was when this guy's healthy, he's the most valuable player in the league. That's what they were saying when we were watching him play. Let's just take a quick look at Gonzalez's splits. And then I certainly don't want to go against everybody here in the chat that's really confident in the Twinkies. And there's no real difference in his splits. 3.54 ERA at home, 3.71 on the road. So, all right. This is a no move for me on the Twins. Tommy Gunn says Mariners tough at home. They're playing much better at home. They got off to a terrible start. Matty Ice has hammered the Blue Jays today in any way that you can. We're going to be moving on that here shortly. Stimmy OG's on the under 8 in this one. And no, JP Crawford says Jerry Young for these Mariners. He's dealing with an illness.
I don't hate the under 8, man. I could see this being a 4-2 game or, a 5-2 game, something like that, no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks here for me. Big Ragu in the house. He says these teams are evenly matched as far as splits goes, but Bruce Hayward much more succinctly says Marco sucks. So that is Twins Mariners. That is afternoon action right here. Afternoon action. Rocky Top Guy says standing on the Niagara Falls Bridge as we speak, looking over into Canada. Sun is playing Cooperstown Friday, so we're making a vacation of it. Let's get these winners. Oh, man. Rocky Top Guy. That sounds incredible. Cooperstown is so much fun. I was planning legitimately to be there every summer, at least, make a trip to Saratoga, then go to Cooperstown. I love northern New York. I love upstate New York. I love going to Finger Lakes and hammering the horses down there. I just that's Cooperstown. So much fun. God, that's incredibly cool. A Rocky Top Guy. I hope your man, son is playing Cooperstown. I hope your son plays great, man. And I hope the team wins. That's so cool. Very, very cool. Now we can cross the border without getting the $40 test too. So maybe I should take the family to Cooperstown.
Wait, you had to pay for that shit?
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, $40 for everybody in the family except for Carter. Like, he's young enough. So even Ella had to do the $40.
Come on.
So it's costing us, $160 or whatever to go down.
That sucks. I'm sorry to laugh. That's terrible.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Wow, Rocky Top Guy. Let's get those winners for you. All right, let's review. Oh, and we had a question about the WNBA game here that's popping up at 1 p.m. I didn't realize there was a 1 p.m. game. I have reached out to Teese. He may or may not be able to jump on, but I just did send him a text if he wanted to come in and just give us a quick look. Let's review our afternoon action here. I'm on the Tigers first 5. So is Daby Cab. We're both on the Tigers first 5. I'm on the Tigers to score first at plus 115. Then I'm going to move on the Reds first 5. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm going to add that to my action. And that's afternoon action for you guys.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have more there, but I don't force them.
You know what I mean? It's just about winning. And you've done that.
Too many of those games had question marks for pitchers when I capped it last night.
Oh, I feel you. And the spreadsheet play today is in here from Ron Crawford. It's Indiana, and Matt Stoney is on the Aces first quarter money line. For the later games in WNBA today, we'll have our guy Tease with his show here on the network right after NBA. Oh, no, NBA pop-up's not today, so it'll be at 4 p.m. Yep. Jay Peasy says, my recency bias has me off the Twins. They scored 3 runs in the last 3 games, too. And CT Bay says the line at Wrigley is weighted too much on Weathers. Padres should not be a dog. I can't wait to talk about that game. It's a really fun one. Jake Burns on the Sun -10 tonight. And Tommy Gunn says, what's this talk about pub in Atlantic City? We are working on putting together an Atlantic City trip here so we can all party together on the East Coast. So it's something that we're working on. There's Lamont Williams here. Hit a 17 parlay yesterday. Yes. Oh, I love that.
Damn, that's beautiful.
Lamont Williams being dealing with some tough family stuff right now, and came on the show just to, because we can take you away from all that, right? That's what our show is about. We're a family. We cap together. We can take you away from all the bullshit that's going on outside. Focus on sports. Lamont Williams, that makes me so happy, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm so happy. Raymond Reichart says, I'll be there for AC 100%. Yes, we have something that we're using to raise money for the trip in Atlantic City. It's a buy a beer, and Jose, I'll be able to pop it up here in our chat. We're trying to raise cash for the Atlantic City trip, and we have a little thing here that we
and just so everybody knows, Slaughter said yesterday, he said that the cash that's raised goes towards to pay for everybody's room, and he might have said food too. I don't know if he said food, but I know he said room. So it's like, you got to get your plane ticket and get there. But what we're raising is going to be for for people's rooms.
I love the drive from here down to Atlantic City, except the fucking turnpike. Popped a tire on the turnpike the last time I drove on it, but I fucking love the drive down there. All right, let's get to work with with evening action here. We have the afternoon capped. Let's get to work here. We start at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 36-27, 60-13 on the road. At the Washington Nationals 23-41, 11-21 at home. Nationals Park in Washington D.C. So obviously we cashed with Spencer Strider in his last start. We cashed the first 5 under just barely, but we also cashed on Strider. And my first thought was we got to go back to the Spencer Strider. Well, we got to trust the stash, but looking at the market made me take it off. So I did not move on it. It was my plan until I saw the market. Ron Crawford said spreadsheet stat play is on the Braves -1. And Tommy Gunn says you got to stay on the Boardwalk. Bally's Hard Rock, best 2 books, in my opinion. Yeah, I would rather stay on the Boardwalk too, but that other casino, what the fuck is it called? The gorgeous casino there with the horse book is so nice. And I know
I'm so excited to go anywhere. I haven't been hardly. I mean, I've been to like a few casinos when I traveled with baseball, but so few. I've never been to Vegas. Like, I know that's like everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck, Cab?" But I'm sorry, I haven't. Like,
it is. It's where my parents met in Vegas, man. That's a magical spot. But let's get back to here. Spencer Strider, Eric Fetty, Borgata. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Borgata fucking horse book is so nice. That casino's so nice. And fuck, man. But yeah, the Boardwalk is more fun. All right, let's get back to work here. Braves, Nats Park, Strider, Fetty, Viper NB. It helps pay his mortgage with fading Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty's been bad all year except this one spectacular start against the Dodgers. 4-4, 4.87 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, 57 1/3, 47 Ks, 28 walks, 7 home runs on the season. His last start, 11-5 win at home versus the Brewers. He went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 4 Ks, 3 walks. Strider was very good in his last start, 5 2/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-2 win at home over the Pirates. So Braves are hitting 241, 728 OPS versus righties. One of the things that I have been doing over the last 2 years is not talking about what happened yesterday at all in my capping, and it's been working. But when your winning streak hits 13 games, you probably should mention it. Nats first righties, 255, 706 OPS. Braves bullpen's been so good, 2.95 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. Nats bullpen, 4.48 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Let's start with the line history here and see if I can give you the exact Bet365 line history. And I can. It opened up the Braves at minus 170. Right now, the Atlanta Braves are minus 200. So a 30-cent move towards the Braves. The total opened up at 9, minus 115 to the over. Now it's 9, minus 125 to the over. So there's been a 10-cent move towards the over. Let's see if the weather works for that look here in Atlanta. And sorry, what the hell? I don't know why I can't let me get this Braves.
Man, Fetty's a fade for me, man.
Well, here we go. Sorry, of course it's national game, not Braves. I was looking for the wrong thing. 83 Fahrenheit, 7.5 miles per hour right to left, but out. So sideways out, and stays around 7.5 miles per hour. And then cash flow in this Braves spot. Here we go. We have, sorry, it's taking me so long. Here we go. We have 8,965 tickets in, and 92% of the tickets, 81% of the cash is on the Braves. And now there's been a market move towards them. So there hadn't been earlier this morning. I was like, why is the market not moving towards them if they got 90% of the tickets on? But now we have the market move, the 30-cent move towards them. So maybe I should have moved on them and did not. 76% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the over, and that's only moved 10 cents, which is interesting. Okay, let's hear what Daby Cab has to say about this spot. Strider, Fetty, take it away.
Man, yeah, you did a good job talking about it because, for me, the value is tough to understand or not tough to understand. It's like you go Braves run line here if you really like the Braves, or maybe try and create the -1, or maybe look at the Braves team total. For me, Fetty's a fade, man. The dude struggles to get through 5 innings, right? 2 out of his last 3 starts, he didn't get out of the 4th. In his last 3 starts, he's given up 13 runs. And this is a Braves team that's, they're hitting the ball well. They're tearing the cover off the baseball right now. On the other side, Strider, last start he did good. You said if you were on him last start, that must have been nice. He got through the 5 with the 4 hits and no runs. But on the same, man, like this one's tough for me. This one's tough for me because I kind of lean Braves team total, or maybe a Braves run line, but I've had really shitty luck with run lines this year, man. Baseball's been my life, right? There's no question about that, but betting baseball has not been my life, and learning how to bet it and what to bet and things like that run lines I'm not a fan of them, man. They bite me in the ass too much. I'm going to have to start using that -1 calculator or something if I'm going to take them.
And we have that here. I'll just once more pop it in the chat for anybody who wants the -1 calculator. Here we go. There it is, right there in the chat for you guys. Well, now I think it is time to trust the Strider. I mean, it's still a really dangerous lineup even without Ozzy Albies in it. Let's see this Braves lineup right now. Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olsen, Darno, Ozuna, Duvall, Arcia, and Harris. Kyle. Sorry. What were you saying, my man?
No, my bad. Somebody in the chat liked that I said I'm a novice. But yeah, man, I'm transparent about everything. I've got a positive record in over 200 baseball bets this year. Not very positive, but it's positive. And I've stayed positive in everything else. I'm very new to it, man. But I'm like a sponge. I learn as much as I can, as fast as I can.
Oh, we love it. We love, having a pitcher that played as high levels as you did, drafted by the majors. It's the insights we absolutely love. And
Thanks,
you're winning on the show, and we're going to keep having you on nonstop. Look at this. Our man Jeff Slaughter says 266 live in the chat right now. Smash that like and help us get to 200 likes. If we get to 200 likes, he will give $100 to someone in the chat. $100.
There we go. We be pubbing, baby.
Okay, I love that. Respect, man. 200 likes, $100 from our man Slaughter, and we will pop the buy a beer thing to pay for our hotels in Atlantic City. We'll pop it up intermittently throughout the show. Okay, so now let's take a look. If I wanted Strider, now that there has been a legitimate market move towards the Braves, and notice that the full game Braves minus 200 compared to the first 5 minus 175, and that makes sense there when you have such a big bullpen advantage with how the Braves have been playing. But if we wanted just to focus on Strider versus Fetty, and we look at the first 5 -1 line, which we would use the -1 calculator then to put together, wouldn't even need it. The Braves' first 5 -0.5 is just -130. I feel like that's just fishy for whatever reason. Why would it be more than that?
I was about to say that I don't mind that bet, but yeah, that feels a little. What do you think it should be? -145, -150?
That's what I was expecting. Let's just see what Fetty's numbers are here against this lineup that he must have seen over and over and over again. So you have Cunha at 273, RC at 667, Duvall hitting 467 with 2 jacks. These guys get
Hold on. Oh, we got to stop the press here. He didn't say over, but Noli said he thinks they both give up runs. If he says over, like Ragu said yesterday, if the king of under says over, get ready.
Well, and Dom Mack made a really interesting point that I did pop up there, and I wish I had it in front. I don't know what I did with it, but he was saying that he thinks that there's a chance that Strider gets touched. I mean, he's been going up against, much weaker lineups. Not that the Nats have a strong, scary lineup, but where is it? I can't find it now. But it was a really nice point that he made. He thought that there was a chance to get touched. And then, so, that's a fishy line. It's just a fishy line, but I like Strider. -0.5 at just -130. So I'm going to put some exclamation marks and some question marks. Our guy Kyle talking about Vegas. When's our next Vegas trip? That'll all be in the cards. All we want to do is hang out and party together. And the trip to San Antonio was so much fun. So many guys that you cap with every day that you don't get a chance to actually sit and have a drink with. It was so much fun. All right, that is some exclamation marks and question marks beside Atlanta -0.5 and -130. There's my guy Good in the house. What up, Good? Franco White looking at the under K props for Strider. Moose Money says Strider big time walk issues.
I don't like that at all, man. I was kind of like, especially after Noli saying the runs and stuff. If I was going to go over, I might just get it done early and look first 5 here. If I was going over.
Dad Fenn didn't know that Cabbie was a pro baseball player. Says that's awesome. Did you pitch? Yes. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah. Baseball's been, like I said, new to the betting, but baseball's been my entire life, man. I pitched at Texas Tech. I was drafted by the Brewers out of high school. I signed with the Pirates, and then I fucked up my arm. Story told as old as time.
And we are very, very fortunate to cap with you. We love you. Not just your capping, but just who you are as a man, family man. You fit in perfectly with all of us, and we just love capping with you, my man. So,
this is such a great group, man. It's hard not to fit in here. You guys are awesome.
It's a great group. It really is. Noli says I'm going to thinking of taking the Acuna stolen base prop at +300. And Lee Davis lives in Lubbock. So we have Lee Davis. We have some news for you coming up here.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought too. We'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Lee. Okay, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. This is the next bet on my card. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Rays at New York Yankees. And this isn't fading Nestor Cortez. Nestor Cortez can have another bounce-back start. I don't care. I think Shane McClanahan is a better pitcher than Nestor Cortez. And
there's no question. That's not a debate. He is. Let's just say, I'm not saying Nestor Cortez is bad, but Shane is better, okay? McClanahan is a better pitcher. Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. Yeah, no, jump in anytime. And Chad Cannon pitched small JUCO in Florida 2006, 2008. I love that stuff. Moose Money saying Shane Mack is so good. Now, there are some things that you could be a little nervous about. One is 5 straight home starts. He clearly got into a rhythm at home. Now he goes out on the road. And I don't have as many starts. I don't know how many starts he's had this year. He is 7-2, but I know he only has had 3 road starts. I believe that's why I read this morning that he only has 3 road starts this year, because I went down all of his game logs here. But I just want to back Shane McClanahan, and I'll back Shane McClanahan against any team in the league. And if you're going to give me plus money, how do I not move on it? So I moved on McClanahan confidently this morning. I said that I made 3 bets. 2 of them were on that Tigers game, and 1 is here on McClanahan. I got Rays first 5 at plus 110.
Jimmy, I made 3 plays. I made
beautiful.
3 plays, and 2 of our plays were almost the same. I took the Rays. I took I know I took the juice here, but I took the plus half a run at minus 130 in the first 5.
Did you? Okay. Well, I'm going to start track. I will start getting your action together here, because, we track everything that's given out here. Yeah. So I will do that here. Top 6 is Rays. First 5 is a lean. McClanahan's last start at home versus the Cardinals was so interesting. It was up against Michaelis. We just saw what Michaelis did last night, coming in out away from a no-hitter. And Birdie in the chat said that. Did you handle that?
Well, somebody put it in the chat, and then I'd said it out loud live, or somebody said something about him making history, and then I said it out loud live, and then right after that, I think Noli pointed it out too. He's like, "Well, you jinxed it." It's like, you don't talk about no hitters, man. You don't do that.
Well, Jerry Young says Nestor bounce back spot, and it's fine if it is. I'm not. It is. It's not, and yeah, if it is, and especially against this Rays team that doesn't have power against lefties, 257, 702 OPS, compared to this Yankees team, 245, 763 OPS. But that start against Michaelis, I was on McClanahan first 5 and full game, and the Cards were no longer raking against lefties. So this is going to be a much tougher matchup against the Yankees. But I just want to back him every chance I can get. So let me just set a table here with the weather, the cash flow, and then we'll hear what Cabbie has to say, and I will line shop while he says it. 73 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 11.2 miles per hour right to left, right across the diamond, goes down to 8.9 miles per hour. Let's move over to the cash flow here. We have these Rays opening up at plus 120. The first move was towards the Yankees. The Rays get up to plus 125. Right now, these Rays are at plus 115. So we've moved back to Tampa. The first 5 that I got at plus 110 is still at plus 110. So no movement there. This total is at 7, juice to the under at minus 125. Just see this here. Wow. So it opened at 7.5 at minus 120. So it's gone down a half run. So clearly the market here expecting it. Sammy says, I locked in Lightning team total over 2.5 minus 124 on Penny 30 minutes ago, already up to minus 135. Wow. An 11-cent move at Penny is a big one. There's no movement here with the money line on Tampa, but wow. I love hearing that. Love seeing that. Davfen says McClanahan seems to be more legitimate future stud. And I think he's a stud right this very minute. 1.87 ERA, 0.86 whip. Let's just see where the cash lies in this Yankees-Rays spot. They give a sliver of value towards the Rays. 49% of the tickets on the Rays, 51% of cash. 70% of tickets on the under, 69% cash on the under, and it's moved to the under. The Yankees are too hot. They're winning baseball games. So I just want the first 5 plus money. That's how I'm handling it. How are you handling it, Daby? Take it away.
I did the same thing, man. So, like I said, I said this earlier, I've had, I think, a couple more than 200 bets this year in baseball already. So I've had a bunch. One of the things that I've stuck with that has worked for me, as much as I don't like laying minus 130, that's my limit. That's as high as I'll go. But I have to do it sometimes for this strategy that I've been doing, and it's been working so far for me this season. If I have a pitcher who I think is, as highly as I think of Shane McClanahan, I mean, I think Nestor Cortes is a very good pitcher. Are you kidding? Look at his numbers. He's outstanding this year. But that doesn't change the fact that I think McClanahan is a better pitcher. I think this kid's future is extremely, extremely bright. And if I get a pitcher that is a dog that I think's better, and I can get a half a run at minus 130 or less, I take it. So in that first 5, I'm getting a half a run with McClanahan versus Cortes. If this is anything from 0-0 to 1-1 or 2-2, I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm going to cash with my half a run. So that's where my head's at on this one. The Yankees, they're hitting 245 versus lefties. That being said, in June, they're hitting 282. So they're killing the baseball right now, which is terrifying. But McClanahan's that guy, man. And I got to get behind him. I just have to. I had so much fun watching him pitch the last couple of times I've watched him. I mean, he's outstanding. He's really that good.
He really, really is. And only noticing McClanahan is overpowering stuff. So it's so fun to watch. Arthur Meade Jr., thank you so much for the dono, my man. It means a ton to us, and you've supported us since the start. And we love you, man. We love you. And CFL's here, Arthur. It's time for us to get paid, my man. So let's see what I can get you here on this. Tommy Gunn says Yankees won all 5 of his starts at home. Cortez at home, a whip of 0.80. Lee Davis has got to take the under here, in my opinion.
Well, and so that's what Tommy Gunn said, or what Dom said. That's why I'm taking the half a run here, because like I said, I think very highly of Cortez. I really do. It's just this is a situation where I have to back McClanahan. I have to with the half a run, since I'm getting a half a run. Screw it. Give me a 0-0 game right here. I don't care. 0-0 is cool with me.
First 5 plus a half, you're getting minus 128 at Pinnacle.
Oh, Ragu. I got to shout out Big Ragu. I have to, because I can't bet this. But last night we were talking about this game, and he found something. Oh, shoot. It was, if he was in the chat, we could ask him, but I haven't seen him in a minute. But it was DraftKings. I think it was DraftKings is what he said. There's a race to runs on there. Okay. And it's a race to 5 runs. And if you pick neither team, it's plus 130 in a race to 5.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right?
That is, he's been making really interesting bets out from FanDuel. I got to get these FanDuels rolling. Thank you, Rocco Rogers. Ron Crawford says Coop says Point is in for Tampa Bay. That's what we expected. That's exciting. Makes it even more exciting. Maybe that's why that team total got more expensive. That must be it. A 12-cent move or whatever. 11-cent moves big at Pinnacle. And then Arthur Meade Jr. says, how's the COVID-19 regulations in Toronto? They're non-existent. We live as if it's not here. So the travel's the problem. There's tons of travel issues for people, but there's no restrictions at all that I can think of. None.
There's Ragu. He said runs 5, neither score 5, plus 130. There you go.
Wow. Yeah. Might be just an exceptional bet.
That's a beautiful bet, isn't it?
Cheshire Cat says, does the history of New York against McClanahan bother you? Let's pull up the batter versus pitcher stats for McClanahan. So
he just any kind of history he has isn't going to be extensive.
No, and there's if you look certain ways of looking at it, sure, Gleyber Torres 6 for 10 with a jack against them, but that's the only jack this lineup's hit off of him. So if we're going with 12, 22, 25, 34, 44, 54, 1 home run and 54 at bats, 3 RBIs in 54 at bats. So Stanton 2 for 5, Torres 6 for 10, Judge 2 for 10 with no homers, no ribbies. I'm very comfortable. And if you want, look at, you have similar stuff going on over against Cortez.
Can I ask you, because I like to learn from all you guys, especially people like Razor. He just said never turn a dog into a favorite. So are you kind of agree with him on what I did there?
That's been my rule. It's weird, but always my rule. I've always made that my rule. Okay. And I don't know if I ever have it in my entire life. Oh, but I have turned the dog into a minus 110 with the plus a half. And I've almost beaten myself up when I've done that. Now, in saying that, you are expecting very low volatility in this game.
Yes. And
because we've seen this total go from 7.5 down to 7, and your expectation is a very low scoring game, I can understand the first 5. I can understand the first 5 plus a half at minus 128. I can get it, but yes, I apply what Razor's saying to every single thing that I do. I never turn a dog into a favorite.
Okay.
But hey,
good. I just wanted to hear that. Okay, cool. I'll look into that. I've had success with taking a pitcher that I think is better than the other starter on the other side with that half a run, but I don't like laying juice like that either. So maybe I just start taking them on the money line.
Not sure where my wife is, but this guy just walked up to.
Hey, buddy. Hey, he was for anybody that was in the horse racing show. I knew for a fact the shitty Angels were going to win that night when he grabbed that Angels hat and wouldn't set it down. And sure as shit, the Angels won. I'm just saying. I think I had 2 people actually DM me after the show, Jose. They were like, "Hey, Carter was right. The Angels won." And I was like, "I know. I knew they were. I knew they would."
Okay, I moved on the Rays first 5 at plus 110. Cabbie moved Rays first 5 plus a half at minus 128. Can you grab him? Okay, I love you, big guy. Okay. Did you want to add anything else to the first 5 plus a half minus 128?
No, but anybody because I like to give what I'm actually putting my money on, but for anybody who didn't hear, I'll say it again. That bet that Ragu found for the neither team to get to 5 runs at plus 130 is an absolutely beautiful thing, in my opinion.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Sorry about that. Let's keep rolling. Again, we're moving to a house here in a month, and these things won't be happening anymore. But it's real life, real drama. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Cabbie and I both moving on the Rays first 5 in different ways. And Razor says, "Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there." Yes. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the dads. It's a nice feeling. Dommy Gun says, "I can't go against the hated Yankees." All right, let's move on. And we move on to our man, Matty Ice, his taint play of the day. Baltimore Orioles, 27-36, 12-21 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 36-25, 19-11 at home. And we have reached sweet, sweet taint. Here we go. Blue Jays first 5 minus 1.5 at minus 110 for Matty Ice is the taint. Jays coming off a loss yesterday. The last 2 days were the first time in 18 or 19 games that I did not bet the Toronto Blue Jays. I just didn't feel like it was responsible,
Well, good job. I mean, good job.
I can't be. I felt terrible putting out the minus ones that were minus 184 and stuff, and I was tracking them, and when they became negative, I was like, just stop it. That's the importance of tracking these plays. And then when I didn't make the Blue Jays with Manoah, when I didn't bet that, and other guys made team total over, I was at a poker game, they were up 11-1, and I was like, God, maybe I should just be hammering it. And then of course it works again like that. With the loss yesterday, we have Bruce Zimmerman going up against Jose Barrios. Bruce Zimmerman started off the year and he looked good. Hey, can you help here? Okay, thank you. Hey, I love you, buddy. You have a great day today, okay, my man? Okay, I know. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, but just got to work. Got to get that cash, Carter. Got to pay for that house, my man. Zimmerman, 2-5, 5.52 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, 62 innings, 44 Ks, 11 walks, 15 home runs allowed, and he looked good. And he had 4 starts against the Yankees in like his first 8 or 9 overall season starts. And I was like, look, he's pitching well. Now that's changed drastically. He just went up against that fucking bum pitching for the Royals today, Jonathan Heaton. That bum's mean. Bum with his K-to-walk ratio. Heasley, he went up against Heasley, and Heasley looked like Cy Young out there compared to Zimmerman. Zimmerman went 4 2/3, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, no walks, an 8-1 loss at the Royals. It was an interesting spot because that total went very quickly from 9 to 9.5, and I know a ton of people took the over on it. And we saw that the big bets had come in on the under. It was very confusing with the two gas cans on the mound, but it did. For those of you who moved on the 9.5, you lost that bet. Going up against Barrios, 5-2, 4.73 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 64 2/3, 54 K, 17 walks, 10 homers. In his last start, he went 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 10-1 win at the Tigers. He looked dominant. Orioles versus righties, 230, 679 OPS. Jays versus lefties. Watch this number rise, man. They're now 3rd in the league, 271 with a 792 OPS versus lefties. Orioles bullpen 3.34 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Jays bullpen 3.91 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. So we will start with the weather. I imagine that the roof is going to be open because the storm was supposed to be earlier today, and it looks like it didn't happen. So I imagine the roof will be open in Toronto. 69 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 9.7 miles per hour, right to left, eyes down to 7.9 6.7, and it's right to left, like barely out, very, very barely out. Let's take a look at the line movement in this one. It was minus 300 last night. It opened at minus 260 and quickly moved to minus 300. Let's see what it is right now for the Jays. I guess at minus 260, you could put a minus one line together. It's still at minus 300, so a 40-cent move. This total sitting at 9.5 at minus 110, and it did go up to minus 115, and it's come back, which is interesting here. God, the Jays just rake lefties. Now let's see the cash flow in this one. We have, where are we? Here we go. 9,457 tickets in. They give a slight, like a sliver of line value to the Orioles. And this is the craziest thing that I've read all day. You're like, is there a mistake here? You wonder, you know? But at this point, Sports Insights, that's an expensive site that is supposed to be the gold standard of this, what I'm about to say, has 6% of the money line tickets on the Baltimore Orioles and 86% of the cash. If that's not the craziest shit you ever read in your life,
man, that is, man. I don't know if you caught Jose's show the other day, but when the Blue Jays were minus 300 on that, it was the one when they won 11-1. I told him, I said, hey, they opened at minus 300. Don't you have to bet the Orioles money line? And he was like, oh, I guess I do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, it's a terrible bet. Good luck.
Did he bet it?
Yeah, he bet it. And then afterwards, I was like, I think it's funny you took that. And he was like, well, you basically forced me to, even though you told me it was a bad bet. I was like, well.
Wow. Mike M says accurate. Fade Barrios.
I'm on him again today.
On the O's.
Yeah.
Today's not
300, dude. Come on.
Wow.
Come on. And I'm also on your Tampa Bay Rays.
As bad as the other day's bet, man.
Well, you fucking tied my arm behind my back and told me to basically just force me to bet it. I was like, I guess. It was like it's minus 290 when I saw it, and I was like, you have to bet it. I was like, okay,
well, it was minus 300, and that's your rule.
And by the way, Jimmy, Cap has not told you about the event that we're going on Thursday night. He's not told you about that, and it's a hell of an event. Let me tell you about that.
Okay, well, you've interested me very much. It's
going to interest you.
Okay,
we'll talk about it here soon.
Okay, well, I will write it down so I make sure that I mention it to Cab as soon as we're done the Angels-Dodgers game. Cab, Thursday. Okay, let's keep rolling. With this spot here, I can't. I mean, look, the run line I get. Let's see what I would get on the run line. I'm not going to do it when I see these numbers of clearly models saying that Orioles are a must-bet situation, but my run line, so, I mean, look, Tank got -1. Oh, first 5 -1.5. Oh, man, I messed that up. First 5 -1.5, -110. That's a really interesting way of playing it because the full game's -1.5 is -145, and the Orioles have a bullpen advantage. Not a big one, but they do have a bullpen advantage. Huh.
I took the Jays team total.
Yeah.
You want me to?
Jays
yeah.
team,
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you're. Yeah. I took the Jays team total, man. Zimmerman, people are hitting 306 off of him. Right now, the Jays are hitting 271 off lefties. Like you said, they're raking them. Not only that, to take it a step further, the Jays are hitting 317 right now in the month of June. Like, what the fuck? Just right there, you put it all together, right? Zimmerman doesn't really walk people, but I don't care if he's going to give up contact like that. He hasn't got through more than 5 innings in his last 3 starts. His last start, 4 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs. Start before that, 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs. The start before that, 4 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs. You see the trend there, right? And we're talking about, not a team that's hitting 317 right now and destroying lefties. Yeah, and they lost yesterday. Absolutely, give me the fucking Blue Jays team total. Absolutely, I got it over 5.5. And I think people are saying it's 6 now. Let me look. Hold on. Yeah, I got it at -107. Over 5.5 at -107.
Over 5.5 at -107. Let's see what we can get you right now for this Jays squad. Here we go. You can get the team total 5.5 -119. We make that official?
Yeah, not as good, but sure.
Over 5.5 team total. So Jays team total over 5.5 at -119. All right, let's roll on. Next up, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, Milwaukee Brewers at New York Mets. We've had a lot of cappers talking about. Oh, there's David Summers now. It's great to see you, David, my guy. We've had a lot of people talking about. D. Jenkins says team total over 5.5 was -125 last night. Now it's dropped. And Noli knows on Orioles run total under 3.5 in this spot. Chad says Vince Carter or Joe Carter. I would say 80% Vince, maybe 90% Vince, 10% Joe, something like that. Mostly Vince. For sure, mostly Vince. Okay, I know a lot of you guys were talking about this Brewers Mets spot, and I missed a bunch of them. So if you can jump in with your thoughts, please do. We have Corbin Burnes going up against David Peterson here, Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's start with the weather at Citi Field. 72 Fahrenheit, 11.5 miles per hour out to left field. Blowing heavy out. Goes down to 9.4 by the end of the game, but all out to left field. Now let's take a look at the line history in this one. Burnes, Peterson. This opened at -120 for the Brew Crew, and it is now, move this here, -140. So we have a 20-cent move towards the Milwaukee Brewers. From a total look, it opened up at 7.5, -120 to the under. It's now 7.5, -115 to the over.
What?
It's very offensive weather out there today. I can understand why it's moved to the over. Let's talk about Corbin Burnes here. 3-4, 2.48 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 92 Ks and 72 2/3, but has allowed 9 home runs. His last start wasn't very good, but it was against the hard hitting. You know what? I take that back. He had some tough luck because he only allowed 1 earned run, but 3 runs total in 4 1/3, 3 hits, 8 Ks, 4 walks, and an 8-3 loss versus the Phillies. Walks have not been a problem for him this year. Just 17 walks and 72 2/3. So it's a strange. I guess he was just trying to be too perfect against this Phillies team that was raking. David Peterson coming off a 7-3 win at the Angels. He only went 2 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 3 Ks and 1 walk. 32 Ks and 18 walks on the season. Brewers versus lefties, just 216, 655 OPS. They don't hit them. Mets versus righties, 273, 759 OPS, and both bullpens have been okay. Brewers bullpen, we expect it to be great. 3.76 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, and Mets bullpen 3.60 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. Take it away here, Daby. Brewers, Mets.
Man, this is a tough one here. Like you said, only 1 earned run in the last start, but the start before that, 3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. Burns' problem is like he's catching too much of the plate. I think I don't remember if it was with you or if it was with Jose when I talked about that, but this was a while ago. I mean, he's still an amazing pitcher, right? Don't get me wrong. He's a great pitcher, but with this slider, when he throws it, he's catching too much of the plate and it's turning into bombs. And that's kind of one of the only problems he's had. That being said, though, on the flip side, I think the Mets are the better team, obviously, but with this pitching matchup, I can't get behind the Mets here. I just can't. I would. Now that is it 8 or is it 7.5? Okay, I thought it had gone up to 8. I was going to say maybe you could look at a first 5 under here because the Brewers aren't hitting the ball. You said it right. The Brewers they're not hitting anything, and I think Burnes has an okay start here. I think he probably still gives up. He's going to give up a big hit at some point. I don't know to who or how big of a hit, but he's catching too much of the plate, so it's going to happen. I don't care. He might be dealing, and he's going to give up that big hit at some point, whether it's a double or a bomb. It depends on who's on base, basically, is what I feel like with him. And that's why the only way I'd look is first 5 under.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. Topset says Mets has a much better lineup. They sure do. Dommy Gun says Mets came off that long road trip fresh, played textbook baseball last night. Dommy, what are you doing here? I'd love to hear what your move is. Wallaby King passing. Let's just look at this one more time. I mean, I don't know how you don't back the Mets here.
Okay, I was worried you were going to say Brewers. I was say if I had to pick a side, it would probably be the Mets, but I just don't know what I'm going to get from Burns, man. His stuff is still the same. He's just hitting too much of the plate.
You're getting plus 120 on this Mets team. What was the cash again? I don't even know if I mentioned the cash. 6,985 tickets in. 53% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on Burns and the Brewers. 57% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on the over. We've seen it go. Dom Gunn says, wind at City whips around a little, not usually affecting the game. Lucas Ryan says, Dommy's been on fire. I'm auto-tailing him. Yes, Dommy coming off a 7-in-1 day yesterday.
I mean, with the way the Mets, hit the ball and me talking about Burns catching too much of the plate, one of the first things I thought was team total over 3.5, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've got the 3 plays and I've just such a big card, man, in so many games that I just don't. I've got a play that I look at that I like more than other plays, but it's just like you said, are we gambling or trying to make an investment? And it's
yeah, and when I say that, I mean there's different ways of looking at it because Pete Loshak, who beats MLB every year, talks about weighted coin flips. Okay. So he's comfortable. He bets a ton of. He has a ton of quantity in his action. He's a high volume gambler. So he's ready to gamble. If he thinks it's a situation where he's going to win more than 50% of the time on a situation with little to no VIG, he's going to move on it in a weighted coin flip. So there's different ways of looking at it. CT Bay says, love the Mets, but wouldn't bet the Mets. Says Brewers will
he's a Mets guy right there. CT knows those Mets inside and out.
I guess you guys are right. Now, the plus 120 screaming at us, but why is it plus 120?
Ronnie said he's been riding the Mets too, but he feels iffy about this one.
LJ giving us great stats. Says Brewers are 8-20 to the run line after a loss. 8-19 run line is a road favorite, only averaging 3 runs last 3 games. Dommy says don't sleep on Peterson. Maybe I should just stay off because I literally was driving yesterday. I had to pick up the cake and I was driving and I was like, oh, the fucking Mets. I didn't bet the Mets.
I should bet them yesterday too, but I stayed off because I always lose when I bet against or with the Brewers, which is a stupid reason not to bet something.
Yeah, you can. It's just a vividness issue there, a bias that you don't need to have. Yeah. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, and we get to Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. We're talking Oakland A's, Boston Red Sox, and Ron Crawford is on the Boston Red Sox on the -1 line. Those of you who said hammer the Red Sox yesterday, the A's are just an absolute fade. You guys were absolutely right, and Ron Crawford is doing it again today. Boston -1. Here we go. Alex G says an investment bet strategy worked for me this year in NBA. Nailed loads of juiced lines, and then this year it didn't work. So the variance points scored changed drastically. So that type of betting didn't work this year. Oh, sorry, it worked for him last year in the NBA. Yeah, things change. You never get too comfortable. Market will always catch up. It's about being ahead of the market, which I was certain of when I was bragging about the Jays being the best team in the league when they were 22-20 because they were hitting 179 with runners in scoring position. And had the toughest schedule in the league, and we're 2 games over 500. But market is caught up, but I'd like to get back in on the Jays. So I'll just wait patiently for when I can. All right, let's talk about this. James Caprillion versus Josh Winkowski. 23-year-old Winkowski being pitching for the AAA Worcester Woo Sox. Got to get Jose a Woo Sox hat. 2-2, 3.38 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 42 2/3, 43 Ks, 8 walks, and 2 home runs allowed. In 42 2/3, he's been excellent. But I wanted more information on Josh Winkowski because he's only started 1 game here for the Red Sox, and he got touched up at home versus the Orioles. So I asked Jose to let us know who is this Josh Winkowski, and can you give us a little breakdown on Winkowski? Here he is. Jose Bouquet, tell us about this young pitcher for the Boston Red Sox.
It's not, as Moose Money saying, it's not Mike Wazowski, it's Josh Winkowski here. I would say the star, the crown jewel of the Andrew Benintendi trade, him and Franchi Cordero, both. So let's talk about his last start. Like you said, he got touched up a little bit. But, I would say I think he's better than that. And, this might be my biased bullshit coming out here, but I watched the highlights again. He had a wild first inning. nerves, whatever you want to chalk that up to. He's not. I would say he's a pitcher with control, not a wild thing kind of guy. He came in. I think he gave up 1 run in the first, and then kind of settled in after that. But more traffic and then a 3-run home run later from Odor led to the 4 earned runs. And I guess this might be dumb, but I say if all your home runs or all your runs come off 1 home run, basically, then I think you've had a little bit of a better start than your stats will say there. So I think Winkowski pitches well here. His last AAA start was 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, and a walk. And that was on the 8th. So he's coming off one of his best starts of his season so far. I think it's going to be a good start for him. I honestly, and Jimmy, we talk about the line value thing. It was on the A's yesterday, and that made me like question myself. And I was like, I'm not going to back the Red Sox here. Instead, I took the under in that game, and that cashed pretty comfortably. So just there's another way you can use your line value thing. Just you be creative about it. But honestly, I was looking at a first 5 under here or a full game under here. I think Caprillion is a decent to good pitcher. He pitched against the Red Sox recently, 4 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, a strikeout, 2 walks. Though my concern, it's 5.5, so it's a super high number for -120. So I was not like entirely fully confident on pulling the trigger. I capped this game fully, and I haven't capped the rest of them yet, except for the 2 games I talked to you about earlier, Rays and I guess it's not capping when it comes to the Orioles game, but I like the first 5 under here. And my last note here to end this little rambling sesh is that last time out when Winkowski pitched, Xander Bogaerts was not at shortstop. It was I keep wanting to say Bronson Arroyo, Christian Arroyo was at short. So it's going to be a difference there. I think he has a good start here.
Did you want to make this first 5 under an official say hey play?
I do, but I don't know if I'll ever cede my say hey plays record again. I don't know. The taxes are starting to come due. The government's knocking on your door, Jim, asking where the taxes are now.
Yes, they are. No, I have started. It's a lot of work. I fell quite far behind, so I have started. And Maddie Ice says Taint yesterday was Red Sox run line. It was a thing of beauty.
Yes, it was. Shout out Taint.
Roger that going Yanks, Red Sox, and Mets today. Reginald Lucas taking the full game under. So you want to make this a official play? Say, hey, first 5 under. Let me line shop for you here in this A's Red Sox game.
Bovada is 5.5 -120. So you can probably find something better than that.
No, and I can't.
I will say this. I had Dami on this last Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And we had a lovely time. And the thing, or I guess the main takeaway from that, and the thing he just reminded me of it, the trend that's been cashing for him mostly is non-division road favorites have been cashing at around, I think he said 67%, above 60%. And that is something that he's been tracking closely. He reminded me of it earlier today in the chat. Asked him how he did in the last couple of days because I have not tracked it. But I will say this: there's 2 of them on my slate of games in the late half. It is the Brewers, first of all. So that was my first little antenna. I was like, I don't know. If you guys are all going to be on the Mets, it's going to be interesting to see how that tracks with the non-division road fave with Burns on the bump. And the last one is Cleveland, Colorado, slight favorite there. So 60%, one of those 2 are going to win outright. So we'll see.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So I can get you the under 5.5 -118. It's circa.
Beautiful.
Okay. Can you give us that angle again? Non-division
road favorites, 60%, above 60%. I don't remember if 67 or like 62, but I can tell you it was above 60%. So that's something that I've kept an eye on. Like I said, it's just for the late half because I cap everything after 5:30, basically. So for that, it was the Brewers and the Guardians. So it's very interesting.
It is interesting. That was great. Thank you. We have the say hey play of the day. First 5 under 5.5 -118. Spreadsheet play today. Boston -1 here. Let's hear what Daby Cab has to say here. Red Sox, A's. What are your thoughts?
When Jose plays the Red Sox first 5 under, I wouldn't go against it. I'm off this game, man. I'm damn sure not going to back the A's. They're a terrible baseball team, just absolutely atrocious.
Very bad.
They're they're a really, really, really bad baseball team, man. And for the sake of time, I don't want to rant on something that I'm not doing anything with. I got nothing here. And if Jose's got to play in a Red Sox game, I'd listen to it because the guy knows his shit.
My last thing, I guess, here would be the A's and Red Sox have played 5 times now, I think. Red Sox have covered the run line all 5 times so far.
Yeah, well, I would ask you that would you not just want the Red Sox as a side here? You just don't trust them in this spot or what?
I don't know. I'm kind of having my guard up. I let my guard down last week, and I got shivved in the back with the Celtics. So I'm kind of keeping my guard up a little bit more. But I mean, obviously, it's. I wouldn't bet the A's here. I like Caprilli, and I think he's a good pitcher. And he pitched against the Red Sox last year, I believe. I think his debut was against the Red Sox, actually. But he pitched against the Red Sox last year, and I'm pretty sure he had good success against them. So that one early start, 2 starts ago, 4 earned runs there. Again, not a bad start at all for what Oakland A's pitching has given you recently. So I think he can pitch a little better than that. But 5.5, which is a super high number. And I don't hate the full game under as well. That was my main query, I guess. I was thinking full game first 5, because I went full game yesterday. Cash, it was 9.5. I think it ended at 6-1. So we were on cruise control. But yeah, I took first 5 here, and we'll see if that bites me in the ass.
There has been a slight move market-wise to these Oakland A's. Let's take a look.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was minus 200 earlier today, and it's minus 190. I attributed that to just who the fuck is Josh Winkowski, and then betting the other side.
But 89%, so 7,414 tickets in, 89% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on Boston. So, make it more appealing for Red Sox players is interesting. Then 54% of tickets on the over, 86% of cash on the over. So big bets have come in on the over. All right. Next Nate was going to go to this game, and still a lot of talk about those leche tits that you got. That still.
Well, let's talk about those leche tits. Not on me.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, you're going to show them some of those leche tits that we're going to go see punch. Have you found out are the 2 girls in the poster fighting? Because I'm real excited if that's the case.
No, Jim. So I am. Here's the thing, Jimmy. Tomorrow, I'll let you know this now. Tomorrow, and I've told you this privately, but you don't look at my text messages ever. Whatever. I'm going to be dragging so much ass on Friday, and it's going to be tough. I might not even make my face shown on Friday because Thursday night, the women who Jimmy is actually terrified of. I can confirm this. Jimmy is very scared of the women of 210 La Chismosas. They are calling some fights, boxing fights. Here's this poster. It is in the middle of a strip club. It is in the middle of a strip club, and there'll be fights. And I actually have a little video demonstration. We can look at this 16-second, little ad here. There you go. So there's a little quick 10 seconds. I don't want the YouTube gods to freak out on us. But yeah, it'll be very interesting. Literally like a 4x4 cage in the middle of a strip club. Nasty Nate, Daby Cab, myself, the women of 210 La Chismosa will be calling those fights. It'll be streamed live too on Pub Culture Radio. And those fights are at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and 3 a.m. So if you're up at those hours and you want to watch some extremely interesting things, please tune into that. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
That does sound interesting. I would be more interested in it if I didn't just lose what looks to be 2 bets here with a 3-run bomb in the first inning.
Yeah, I saw that in there too. I'm on that first 5. That fucking sucks because come on, the Tigers aren't getting 4 runs. I was not looking forward to that.
Wow, that hurts. That's a shitty way to get the day started. Lost up. All right, let's stay focused here. Great stuff, Jose. Enjoy your Thursday night, and Yeah, I'll be very interested. I find myself interested right away. But let's keep moving here. We go on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates at St. Louis Cardinals. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. God, that fucking sucks. What a shit way to start the day. It's very hot in St. Louis right now. 96 Fahrenheit. Feels like 103. 12.9 miles per hour out to left. Goes down to 10.7 miles per hour. Now, let's move over to the market here. Contreras versus Flaherty. This is a very interesting situation. It opened with the Pirates at plus 150, and now these Pittsburgh Pirates are at plus 160. The first move was towards them, though, to plus 145. This total sitting at 8.5, juice to the over. It opened at 8, and it's now moved to 8.5. So it opened at 8, now moved to 8.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. I just feel myself like, oh, I gotta reach now and make more bets because I'm gonna fucking start off the day 0-2. It's such a, I don't know why I would be thinking.
Hey, you don't gotta reach, man. You don't look. I know it's hard. Like I'm in the same boat. It sucks. It fucking sucks, man. But you've been hot. There is no reason to. We're going to be here fucking tomorrow with a whole nother list of games. It fucking sucks, but it's part of it. Don't reach. Don't force.
No, I know. And I had to say it out loud just to stop myself. So I didn't just quietly do it. 8,940 tickets in. Listen to this. 19% of the tickets on Pittsburgh, but 72% of the cash. 58% of the tickets on the over and 64% of the cash. We've seen that move towards the over. Matt Pollan says Vince Velasquez is about to get jacked. Maybe Velasquez could fall apart. Cashman says not over yet. Velasquez gives it up. Don Max says Rowan-C is good. Yes, we cashed the under in the last start that Rowan-C Contreras had. We cashed the first 5 under, and that was when he went up against Strider, and he kept his shit together. He did allow 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 7 Ks, 1 walk, but he's been very good this year. 1-1, 2.57 ERA, 1.18 whip, 33 Ks in 28 innings, 9 walks, 3 home runs. CT Bay says Pirates first 5 plus 140, worth it. Let's talk about who he's going up against, and that's Jack Flaherty, making his season debut. He's been out all year due to shoulder inflammation. He's also made just 2 rehab starts, and he got up to 58 pitches in the latest, and that's the most he's done. And why he's being brought up now is you'd think that he might need another start, but they had the doubleheader on Tuesday, and in the 2 starts Flaherty's had 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, and 1 base runner. So they're like, look, he's just on right now, so let's bring him up. But he is on a 60-pitch limit. Pirates versus righties, 218, 634 OPS. Cards versus righties, 257, 08 OPS. Pirates bullpen, 4.23 ERA, 1.32 whip. Cards bullpen, 3.80 ERA, 1.29 whip. Take it away here, Daby Cab, Pirates, Cardinals.
Man, this game is one of those other ones that's just so hard to so hard for me to cap. I do not like taking. I know that he's had rehab starts, but I do not like backing pitchers on their first start back. I don't even like getting involved in games with pitchers on their first start back most of the time. On the other side, Contreras, he's been good, man. He's been real good. I don't want to put myself in another situation here where I'm clearly backing a team that's not as good as the other team because of the pitcher, because I don't know if Contreras is that good for me yet. So I'll leave it at that, man. I'm off this one because of that right here. This right here is a tough game to cap for me. Maybe one of the toughest.
Yeah, well, hard to know what Flaherty's going to do, but this is probably a good lineup for him to attack. I'm surprised that so much money's on the over, and the first 5 sitting at 4.5. Top set leaning towards the Cards team total over. LJ says Pirates 20 losses on the road. Enough said. Noli No saying Contreras is legit.
He's really good. He's really good.
Nathan Cerna had a bad night at the poker table. Those nights happen. It's funny. What happened to me, I've been on a really nice run at the poker table. And
beautiful.
I know exactly what happened to me. My bankroll got right, and I started calling way more than I'd ever called before. And I made a call when we were all at the Golden Nugget, where it was just me going, just me being drunk with a big bankroll. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just kept saying to myself, You got to go back to playing poker the way you used to play with a little bit. And they say, scared money don't make money, whatever. But I was much better folder when my bankroll was smaller. And so I became so consciously aware of that I was making calls that I wouldn't have made a year or 2 years ago. I'm making them now. I've got to stop that. Since I've done that, I've been on just a really, really nice run. So that's my shit. But CT Bay says Pirates likely can't finish, but Contreras for 5 at plus money a go. I get it. I don't know what Flaherty's going to give us. I know he's so good at home, and I'm going to stay off this spot. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 39-24, 22-11 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 23-38, 11-22 at home. This is another very strange pitching situation. Weathers versus Caleb Killian, and we'll break down both of these guys because it took some research to do it. And my first thought was gotta back the Cubs, but CT Base made a really good point about Ryan Weathers and how much better the Padres are than the Cubs, and that maybe the Padres shouldn't be this big of a dog. Let's talk about this whole situation. We'll start with the weather. 88 Fahrenheit, and it's blowing out heavy. 16.5 miles per hour at first pitch, going down to 14.5. So it's hot, and the weather is blowing out at Wrigley. Let's move over to the line history in this one. We have these Pirates opening up at +1. Oh, sorry, Pirates. What the hell am I doing? Sorry, we have these Padres. Okay, no, that's not gonna help me here. So let's go over to the Action Network. Padres opening up at even money. They're now +120 and +124. So there's been a 20 to 25 cent move towards the Chicago Cubs. This total opened up at 11.5. It has moved to 12. CT Bay says I'm all over the Padres. Pen and lineup so much better. Weathers may pitch just 3 innings. Coin says runs aplenty at Wrigley tonight. And let's talk about first let's look at the money before we talk about these pitchers a little more. Here we go with the cash. We have 6,998 tickets in. They give slight line value to the Cubs. 34% of the tickets on the Cubs, 69% of the cash. Then 58% of tickets on the over and 75% of the cash on the over. So Weathers came in as a rookie last year, 22-year-old lefty with low expectations, sitting as the 5th starter, and was good. He was really good at first, and then he started scuffling. Then he started not looking as good. So he spent the entire year so far at AAA, and he's been so bad. 7.29 ERA, 1.85 whip, 37 strikeouts to 24 walks. He's been terrible. But CT Bays is right. This Padres bullpen's been really good of late, and he's going to have a really short leash. Going up against Caleb Killian, who started 1 game, said it was his dream come true, 7-4 extra inning loss at home to the Cardinals. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, and 2 walks. He was part of the trade for Chris Bryant with the Giants. In AAA Iowa, he was so good. 2-0, 2.06 ERA. That's over 9 starts, 41 strikeouts, and 39 1/3. So I came very close to moving on the Cubs this morning. I don't know why I didn't now that the market's moved so heavily against it. I am in a chat with CT, and I saw CT talking about this spot. Padres penned 2 earned runs in the last 20. Maybe that's why I stopped.
I'm in that same chat. It makes sense what he's saying, man, because the Weathers is going to throw 3 innings. So you're essentially dealing with the bullpen when you cap this. Like, that's how you got to look at it. This is one of those nice instances where the coach should not have a very long leash on Weathers. As soon as he gets in trouble, they're not going to try and let him work through it to get to a pitch, like a certain pitch counter. Like, he should get pulled the fuck out as soon as things get bad, right? Like, that's what should happen.
Which I imagine will happen. And I remember that now I'm going back to what happened this morning when I did look at the first 3. Cubs are minus 140 in the first 3.
Oh, Moose said Weathers will be extended. Okay, well.
It says that they don't have an off day and travel to Colorado. CT Bay says if Weathers pitches 5 innings, he's doing well and they're rolling. This Cubs team hits lefties, 244 with a 726 OPS, compared to the Padres, just 234, 659 OPS versus righties. And Snoley says it's not a playoff game, so he thinks they'll be extended. For me here, I just think there's such a big advantage with Killian over Weathers.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is just I wouldn't leave Weathers out there. Like, if you're talking about one of your like starting pitchers that you're trying to get into form for the season, or like, yeah, you let them hit their pitch count. But I'm not going to. I guess it's a travel day. Yeah, I get it. They've already won the series, but I don't know.
Huh. Here's an interesting look here. So the first 5 innings for the, minus a half, first 5 innings here for this Cubs squad is minus 120. And that, may not be a spot that you want. Interestingly enough, the first 4.5 innings. And if you think that by the 5th inning, this Padres bullpen that's pitching so well is probably going to be using somebody who's, rolling, you can get the Cubs first 4.5 plus a half run at minus 125. So you cut that 5th inning for the Cubs where the Padres bullpen is going to be probably utilized, and you just need to be tied going into that 5th inning.
Which is kind of what I did with the McClanahan, but that's a little different.
But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I think weather's going to get touched here. I really do. Nolino says just won't be taken out of the first sign of trouble. Johnny Gonzalez says Padres playing with house money. Musgrove starts tomorrow, so we expect to close out the series tomorrow. So, I think Killian had a ton of pressure on him. Now he gets that first start out of the way. I mean, you would know better than me, Cab. Do you think that Killian now getting that first start out of the way at Wrigley, where everybody's watching him now, there'll be, hopefully no friends and family, and he gets to start? Do you think it'll be easier for him?
Yeah, that first start, man, he was so fucking amped for that first start. I promise you, he didn't sleep the night before. And I'm not saying that he's 100% better now, but that first start, I mean, for the first game that I stepped on the mound, we were playing U of H and they were ranked like 8th in the nation. This was, we were at Minute Maid Stadium, and I walked the first two, hit the first guy in the head, walked the second guy. Then my shortstop made an error. Then I struck out the side. But I'm just saying, man, when you first come in those games, holy shit. Like, it was his first game. Yeah. I expect it to be a lot different than his last start. His legs were shaking.
Yeah. I hear what CT's saying, and I think this is the best opportunity for me here. And so I don't want to have too much juice, but I could have, it's a 5 cents difference if I take them to score, to be ahead in the 5th inning, or take them to be tied going into the 5th inning. So I'm gonna make one of those decisions here, and I'm leaning towards the first 4.5 plus a half. But I do think the Cubs early with the way they're hitting lefties and just attacking weathers here. But it wouldn't be the first time that I saw a pitcher, with this ridiculously high triple. Now, but we've already seen weather, so the book's out on him. You know what? I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to move on the Cubs first 5 in some form. Are you moving past this one? We got 2 games left on the card.
Yeah, this might be one I circle back to. I don't, Padres are one of the teams that I've had success with this year, and I thought Cubs when I looked at this at first too, but everything kept me off. Just I don't know enough about these pitchers. I mean, I can look at the numbers all day, but that's not the only thing I want to have when I make a bet.
I feel you. All right. Let's move on. Next one, 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 30-27, 14-17 on the road at the Colorado Rockies, 27-35, 16-17 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Connor Pilkington going up against Austin Gomber, 2 lefties on the hill. AJ did take the over, and Nathan Cerner took yes run first inning. Got to be juiced. I wonder what that is. Let me.
I was about to say, I wonder what the juice is on that.
Yes, run first inning. Sorry.
Slatsy said he wish he would have live bet my first start. Yeah, you would have got good juice if you're right on there when the bases got loaded with no outs.
Sorry, here we go. Run first inning for me. Oh, yes is minus 200 for me. Okay, Pilkington against Gomber. Pilkington 1-0, 3.57 ERA, 1.54 WHIP, 22 2/3, 25 Ks, 14 walks, 1 home run. His last start, he went 5 2/3, allowed 4 earned runs, a homer, 2 Ks with 4 walks, an 8-4 win at home over the A's. So the A's got to Pilkington. Now, I know the A's hit lefties better than righties, but they still don't hit lefties hard. going up against Gomber, who's coming off a great start at the Giants. And this is a Giants team that's actually hitting lefties harder than we imagined them. You know, they're top 7 or 8 against lefties. Gomber had a nice start, and that was on the road. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. But he's got this terrible 6.17 ERA, 1.42 whip. I'm going to pull up his splits here after we hear what Cabbie thinks. Nathan Cerna says fade of Gomber. Rockies versus lefties, 282, 764 OPS. I stopped myself. I was like, holy shit, their numbers have gone down that much against lefties. But yeah, their power numbers have really dropped against lefties. Guardians versus lefties, 231, 633 OPS. They're terrible against them. And then we have this Guardians bullpen that allows 2 runs per 9 innings less than the Rockies bullpen. This Guardians bullpen is lights out. Top says that I'm on Cleveland money line. I love the Guardians in this matchup. And we've talked about how hot our guy Topset is right now. All right, so let's look at the
one of those guys. Gomber's one of those guys, man. Like, oh, my bad. What were you saying?
No, listen. Take it away.
Oh, okay. Gomber's one of those guys, man. Like, if you look at his first couple of years in St. Louis, his numbers were better. And, you know, some people, they pitch to contact or, you know, they get a lot of contact off of him. And Gomber's one of those people, man. People make contact on him. And Colorado is not the place where you want to be when people make contact with the ball. I don't care who you are. The ball travels in Colorado. It's what it does. And so, you know, he gives up a lot of contact, which has equated to a lot of runs, a whole lot of fucking runs. You know, last start he did great. Last start for him, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. But you know, your 2 starts before that, he gave up 9 runs and 8 runs. I mean, it's what he does. Some people pitch to contact and it works for him. Some people pitch to contact and it doesn't. Gomber's one of those people who it's not working for him.
Yeah, and the opponents are hitting 321 against them at home.
Brutal. Just brutal, man. Just brutal. So, like, honestly, this caps towards like a over or maybe Cleveland. But yeah, this is another one of those, man. Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, I just want to just go over the weather quickly. 8.1 miles per hour in, although it is 93 Fahrenheit, 8.1 miles per hour in. And then a quick look at the line history in this one. These Guardians opened up at minus 105 at bet 365. They are currently minus 105, so no movement there. And this total is now at 12, minus 105 to the over. It opened up at 11.5. And when we go over to where the cash is in this Rockies spot, 6,014 tickets in. 66% of the tickets, 35% of the cash on Cleveland. So, you know, Pilkington just seems vulnerable. Then 41% of tickets, 99% of cash on the over. 99% of cash on the over. It has moved up a half run. And,
I mean, because what are you going to do? Bet the under? Like, I mean.
Wow. The first 5 is sitting at 6.5 as a pick 'em here. James Lil, my man. Moose Money said just moved on the full game over 11.5 in Padres Cubs. Says weather's going to be great for runs. And look at Noli knows on the first 5 under 6.5.
There you go. I mean, at some point, at what point do you bet it when it gets high enough? At what point, right?
Wow, Gomber's numbers are just terrible. Okay, well, that will keep me off Comber. And Topset says Cleveland Penn is the difference here, guys. All right, let's talk about this last spot on the board. 10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 29-34, 12-16 on the road at the Dodgers, 38-23, 18-10 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. 74 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 6.1 miles per hour out to right center, dies down to 4 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history in this Dodger spot. It was a nice first 5 and full game catcher on Gonsolin yet again, -0.5, -1 respectively. The Dodgers opened up at minus 192, and right now these Dodgers are sitting at minus 210, so an 18-cent move towards them. This total is now at 8.5, minus 115 to the over, and it opened up at 9, so we've had a move towards the under here. Then let's take a look at the cash flow in this Detmers Anderson spot. 9,041 tickets in. 8% of the tickets on Detmers and 26% of the cash. So some big bets have come in on the Angels. Then 65% of tickets on the under, 80% of cash, and the market's moved to the under. Eric Jones says Dodgers run line here. Fap says you probably need to look at the bets that hit Gomber. Says the teams, I guess. It says can see the under cashing here. All right, Tyler Anderson going up against Detmers. Detmers, a nice start last out at home. 4 1/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1K, 2 walks in a 1-0 loss to the Red Sox. He's got a 1.01 whip now, and that includes 16 walks and 49 in the third. Tyler Anderson's been very good this year, and he's coming off a spot where the White Sox got to him, but the White Sox are just raking lefties right now. 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 Ks, 3 walks. Angels don't hit lefties hard at all. 246, 799 OPS. Either do the Dodgers, 241, 719 OPS. Angels bullpen 4.25 ERA, 1.22 whip. Dodgers bullpen 3.48 ERA, 1.16 whip. Daby Cab, take it away. Angels, Dodgers.
So I've called out some team total overs, but here I would probably look towards the Angels team total under, man. God, this team is so bad right now. How do you have so much talent and can't score any fucking runs? They should be so embarrassed, man. If I was in that clubhouse, I'd blow that fucking thing up. Like, I'm serious. I don't understand it. But I'll stop ranting on that. Dodgers run line is the only way I think you could look. I mean, outside of when we, said Carter grabbed the hat, so let's bet the Angels. How do you bet that team right now, man? How do you do anything with that team right now? And like you said, they can't. I'd look at the Angels team total under or a Dodgers run line here. That's the only 2 ways that I could possibly play this game.
This total's gone from 9 to 8.5. I wonder, was this first 5 always at 4.5? Was there ever a time it was at 5? It is juiced to the over 4.5. Neither of these teams hit lefties. And, the Dodger Stadium's not a great place for offense. Do you have any interest in this first 5 under 4.5?
Yeah, I like the first 5 under. I like that first 5 under a lot, actually. And shout out to Noli last night. Him and shout out to Nick, Fish Tanks. Some people, and myself included, got on the under first 5 last night. We cashed that. Yeah, I like the under first 5 again here. Lately, the Dodgers have been not scoring as many runs. I don't expect that. That's baseball, right? I expect them to start hitting again any day. It's the Dodgers. But yeah, right now that would be the trend with the Dodgers also. But also, I might even just consider, like I said, the Angels team total under, man. Like, this team sucks right now. They're so bad.
I'm going to move on that first 5 under 4.5. God, I'd sure like to know if there was a 5 available. Let me see if the Action Network can tell me. Let's move over to... Oh, no, they can't even do that. God damn. I would sure like to know. If anybody knows if there was a 5 available, I'll move off of it. Rob Free giving a shout out to whoever called the Wings first half. Dave Burke says, do we like the Astros today? Let's review all action before we talk NBA. I know we are a day away, but we wanted the opportunity to have our guy who's been so good this year on the show. We wanted the opportunity to get It's Daryl on the show. So let's review all action here in MLB. God damn, did I get off to a shit start today. Believing in Faedo. And also Detroit to score first. That is blowing up in my face. But let's look at the rest of the card. Astros, Rangers, real coin flip situation, Berkey, with Garcia versus Tyson Miller. Billy Friedrich, what's happening? Says there's a first 5 under 5 at minus 119 at Bookmaker.
There you go. There's that 5.
I'm getting minus 105. I would pay 14 cents for that minus 119. Let's see what this first 5 total is if I wanted to pay for the 5. Yeah, I don't. So it'd be way too expensive. Wow, that's a nice number. God, I can't wait till I have Pinnacle going. Okay, Reds first 5 plus 105 is my first move that I'm adding. Royals, Giants, we stayed off. We stayed off Twins, Mariners as well. God, that Atlanta first 5 minus a half minus 130 is screaming at me. But it's just a fishy price. Cab gets his day started with the Rays first 5 plus a half at minus 128. I'm already on the Rays first 5 at plus 110. Cabbie is on the Jays team total over 5.5 at minus 119. Matty Ice is on the Blue Jays first 5 minus 1.5 at minus 110. Brewers, Mets, we've stayed off. Say hey, play of the days. Red Sox first 5 under 5.5. Ron Crawford's on the Boston Red Sox minus 1 is the spreadsheet play today. Pirates, Cards, we have stayed off. I'm going to move on the Cubs first 5. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it, whether that be first 4.5 or plus a half minus 125. I think I lean towards that. if the Padres bullpen's been so good, and I don't think Weathers is going to be in there in that 5th inning anyways, I'm leaning towards that. Guardians, Rockies, we stayed off, and I'm going to add the first 5 under 4.5 in Angels, Dodgers. Cab, is there anything else you want to add?
I might, man. And if I do, I will tag you in it and I will tweet it out. I don't want to add it right here on the spot because I have these 3 plays, but there are a couple things that I'm looking heavy in. I might join you with the Reds, actually. I like that. I think that caps towards the Reds. So if I do, I will tag you in it and I will tweet it out so everyone will see it, and it'll be well before the game starts.
Yeah, and it pops off in an
what time
hour.
Does the game start?
Hour 52 minutes. It starts at 3:40.
Okay, not well before the game starts. It'll be before the game starts.
Okay. That's fair. Daby Cab, great to have you back on the show. You've been excellent so far this year with us. We've enjoyed it very much. Daby Cab on the show, 7-4, 63.6% plus 3.24 units with an ROI plus 29.45%, average line minus 103. And he has 2 moves left on the Cards. Rays first 5 plus a half, and the Blue Jays team total over 5.5. Cashman says Velasquez 6 up, 6 down. Unbelievable. Fucking garbage. Thank you, Moose Money, and thank you, Daby Cab. Follow him on Twitter at Daby Cab and check out his show alongside Mr. Fat Fist Tuesday and Thursday nightcap, and it's at 8 p.m. or is it at 8:30?
8:30 Eastern.
8:30. Okay, 8:30 Eastern here, and it's a great show. I'll be on Thursday night with the boys, so check us out Thursday night. Cab, thank you so much for your insights, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
One other show really quick. Dutch Boy and me. Got to give a shout out to Dutch. He's my guy. We've been doing the morning sesh every just blank Saturday through Monday. It's a little shorter show, guys. It's like 30 minutes, but we try and get you a laugh in there. We still break bread, and like he says, hits the bookies over the head. But it's more to just get you guys in the mood, get the day started, get going for all these great shows that Pub Sports Radio has. But thank you guys in the chat, man. We don't got anything without you guys. You make this whole thing worth doing. So thank you guys.
Well put. Yeah, so we got Daby Cab Tuesday and Thursday nights, Saturday with Mr. Fat Fist and a bunch of others, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday mornings we have him, and it's a great show with Dutchy getting lifted here. All right, let's move on to NBA. We got a little glimpse of what is in store here from our expert. It's Darryl coming to us live from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome our man who still has 60% in sight here with maybe 1 game left to get there. Let's see what he wants to make official. Welcome to the show, Darryl in the house. How are you, my man?
Yo, what's good, bro? What is good, man? It is Wednesday, so I'm here. Wednesday, I'm here. We talked about this last week, right? Where if Golden State hadn't won, then that would have been my last show. But they did win. And Jose had a night. Didn't hear or see him all fucking weekend. And had to chime in on yesterday because, I couldn't let that slide, bro. I could not let that slide at all. Sure. I could not let his antics slide at all because he went in on me. Jay, I mean, you listen to that shit, right? He went in on me. So I told him, bring that same energy, and he didn't bring it. So, I had to get him yesterday. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be back, bro. Happy to be on this side of the grass. As I always say, any day on this side of the grass is a good day. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. And let's talk some ball, brother.
Let's talk some ball because I found the market unbelievably interesting. I couldn't believe my eyes, to be honest with you. I was shocked. Now, there's only 7,590 tickets in.
It's early.
But it's all on the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yet, we're sitting here, and there's no move in sight.
Yeah.
We all know the last time this happened, what the result was. Yeah, we know. And I just couldn't believe it. So we're sitting here with the Celtics -4. And from a ticket standpoint, it's coin flip. You have 49% of the tickets on the Warriors, 51% of tickets on the Celtics, and 95% of the cash on the Celtics. So huge bets have come in on the Celtics on the spread and no movement. I mean,
well, no movement as of late, right? I mean, that line opened in some books at 3, didn't it?
I thought that it opened at 3.5. But
yeah, I had seen 3 in some cases, but yeah, the main line was 3.5. But yeah, to have that much energy on Boston, and we're just talking about a hook. I mean, yeah, this is just a repeat, in my opinion.
Well, it was shocking. A very, very, very shocking here. We've seen the totals in the series just drop and drop and drop since the first game.
Absolutely.
Another drop now, sitting at 210.
Yeah.
And at this point, 53% of tickets are on the under, and 79% of the cash is on the under. I've yet to move on this game. My plan was to move on the Celtics.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh wow.
I definitely I think that the Warriors win this series at home and have a huge party, because we all remember the last time, they had a playoff game at home, and it was last time they were in Oakland, and it was a sad situation. And I think they changed the story and have a huge celebration in Game 7 at home. But with 95% of the cash on the Boston Celtics, I can't move on them.
Okay. So let's talk this out, right? And I'm going to I specifically want to say let's talk this out with you, because I am trying to figure out what's convincing to you that Boston can win these games, because you were hesitant last week, right? But you said if you had to make a play, you would move on Boston. So what is it about these games that you're seeing that convinces you that Boston can still win?
I still think that Boston is capable of having a toughness advantage. And at home in Boston, look, in Game 4, we talked about Boston having a toughness advantage, and Steph Curry hit a 3, flexed his muscles, and started screaming at the crowd. Well, all of a sudden, Boston didn't have a toughness advantage anymore.
Yeah, because Curry screamed.
To me, that it just I saw Kobe and I saw Mike. That's what I saw, and I was like, oh God! Immediately bet the Warriors. When I saw him do, I was like, holy shit! I'd not seen Steph do that on the road before, and I was like, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, this is just must watch TV. And they were down, and they were being written off, and people were expecting this championship for the Celtics, and they had that fire and that fight and that toughness.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that it goes away up 3-2, but there sure is a lot of smiling going on. There sure is a lot of feeling good going on. And now all of a sudden, it's the Celtics that are in a cage.
Okay.
Wanting to get out so badly, wanting to fight so badly, wanting to show everybody that they're not written off. And I think that the difference in mentality, where now the Celtics are being, I don't want to say embarrassed, but when the Warriors play so poorly and win so easily,
right? That part,
everybody's writing them off. And when people say NBA needs a Game 7, I believe that shit. Not entirely and totally, but I do. I believe that it will help the NBA to have a Game 7, and we know how much trickery there is in the NBA.
Right.
In saying that, if we come to tip off and 95% of the money is on the Celtics, well, I won't bet the Celtics.
Right.
So that's my.
I have to ask that question, because if you put fandom aside, right? So we all of a sudden got to discount Jose and even Nasty Nate from this conversation, right? Because we know that they are fans of Boston. There hasn't been anything about this series that tells me Boston is the better team. They may be stronger, they may be more physical, but where they advantage in those areas, they lack in consistency. And most importantly, you don't see Jason Tatum show up when he really needs to show up. Now, either that's more on Boston's end, right? Or that's showing what's really not being talked about, and that is this defense by Golden State. It's one of the two. So now we have a pivotal game, in my opinion, and that was Game 5, in which Boston had to really show, okay, well, we can win again in Golden State, and we could take back that loss we just took in Boston. And you had probably one of the most shittiest games by Steph Curry, and you still lose. You still lose that game. So what you're seeing happening right now is there's not as much rotation happening with Ime because he's trying to make those adjustments that Steve Kerr is throwing out there. What people don't understand, man, is Steve Kerr's over there playing chess, bro, not checkers. He is really playing a game of chess against Ime. And it all started when he played Bielika early. That started when he made adjustments to take Dre out of the closeout minutes in the fourth quarter. These are things, man, that he was doing on a fly. And Ime had no answer for that, right? And so now you got a smaller rotation, in my opinion, Ime's playing. And these guys are gassed. They're fucking gassed, bottom line. And so when it comes late in the fourth quarter, where you think that Boston's going to make these runs, they just don't have it in them. There's no way in hell Boston should have lost Game 5 with as bad as Curry played offensively, right? What's the narrative now coming out of Game 5? It's he has broken his streak. He has broken his streak, right? To where he has now not made a three. Bro went 0 for 9 behind the arc. 0 for 9. But you had a game by Wiggins, who is absolutely locking down Tatum in most cases, where he's playing one-on-one with him, right? You have these guys being mentally broken where they feel they're not getting calls. Even though there was probably some questionable calls you can make, Boston was still at the line more than Golden State. You left 10 points on the board, bruh. You left 10 points on the board because you cannot make your free throws. Easiest shot in the NBA, one of the most important of the 3 shots in the NBA, and you can't make 10 of them. So, to me, when I look at this game, and we could just run back the tapes, man. If anything, I've been more right on the way Golden State's been playing all postseason than a lot of these other teams. Because what I'm seeing is Kerr is doing a dynamic job in coaching. He is throwing some different lineups out there. He is really having them win by committee. And we can honestly say that Golden State hasn't even played the perfect game just yet, and they're up 3-2, right? If we're going to talk about Steph Curry, what probably solidified his finals MVP for the first time ever is his 40 points that he put up, 43 points that he put up in Game 4, right? And then what he's going to potentially do in Game 6. So this is one of these things to where when I look at Boston, they were getting smacked, bro, in the beginning of the game, right? And then Golden State just got cold and Boston went on this run. It wasn't that they were technically stopping Golden State to make that game close again. What they were doing really was making their shots, and Golden State was missing open shots. But Boston started off 0 for 12. 0 for 12. So I just don't think that Boston has enough in the tank when it's said and done, and they can't make any more adjustments to what they've already made to win this game. So there's 2 ways you can go with this. If you like Golden State, never mind the +4. Just take the money line for more value, right? If you like Boston, go ahead and do -4, do an alt line, -5, -6, just to get some extra value or to get rid of that -110, because these games are not close. They're not close. So if you're on the Golden State side, which I am, I'm going right back to the money line. I've already made that futures ticket of Golden State in 6. Let's just, for a quick second, talk about the mindset of Game 6s. We all always have heard about ad nauseum Game 6 Clay. I mean, that we talk about that so much, right? But if you look at the mentality of the Golden State Warriors, they don't want to play a game 7. Damn the NBA and what they want to do, right? Now, we'll see if there's a Scott Foster effect that comes into play here. But they don't want to play a game 7. They don't want to take a 5-hour flight from Boston back to Golden State and get ready to play a game 7 on Father's Day. They have no problem closing out game 6 in Boston. That's the mentality. Draymond Green has said it many times. Steve Kerr has said that many times, to where we know this is a closeout game. So it's not about, in my opinion, to where the NBA can possibly manipulate the game and, send it back to Golden State. It's Golden State really wants to close this series out tomorrow. They do. And I do believe they can. Will the game be a little more physical? Possibly. But in my opinion, man, I think you've seen the best of Boston. These guys have now played each other 5 times. It isn't anything they haven't seen going into game 6. So I do like game 6. Warriors game 6, you look at some of the props on here. You got Tatum at 27.5 points. You got Curry at 28.5 points. The points props are just about the same as they've always been in all the games, right? So it's just right now really digging down and thinking who's going to win this game. And I do believe it's going to be Golden State.
It's a great breakdown. I think the difference in mentality for the Celtics compared to what happened in games 3 and 4 will come out. And after hearing everybody talk in the chat,
bro, man, that's one person I want to meet, bro. I gotta meet Nate. I swear to God, I gotta meet that dude, man. It is absolutely a love-hate relationship. It is. But I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear shit from Nate. So, Nate hates my guts, man. I know he does.
No, he's not like that. He loves this stuff.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, shout out to you, man. Salute to you.
I think that difference in mentality is a huge factor. And the more after hearing this and listening to you and reading the chat, I want to move on the Celtics early because I still fear the Warriors being loosey-goosey in the second half and the Celtics tightening up.
The second half? Well, yeah. If they tighten up, you're going to see Boston come out strong in the first half, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Finally, what did we see happen, Jay? Golden State did not cover a third quarter.
Yeah. We
saw that finally, right? Yeah. They just weren't making those shots. But if you like Boston, then you really have to take that third quarter angle into effect. So if you want to kind of mix and match some things, take Boston early. Me personally, a play that I like and a play that I'm going to jump on is Golden State first quarter. I'm going to jump on them first quarter. And the reason why is because as much as you think athletes don't care, they really do. And I guarantee you that's eating Steph up that he did not make a 3. So it's going to be kind of similar to when Steph came out and made 6 threes in the first quarter. I think you see a game like that. Boston is going to chomp at the bit. They're going to bite down, man, and they're going to go to work. And it could be a Boston first half game, but then it's just a repeat of what's been happening. Look at Warriors third quarter and then look for them to close out the game. That's just the way I see it. So if I'm looking at the flow of this game, you've got Golden State first quarter, take them while they're dogs, take Boston first half, and then take Golden State third quarter, Golden State full game.
Well, by the way, it's still 3.5 at Pinnacle.
That should scare you, man. I mean, Jay, you look at fucking numbers all day, bro.
It scares the shit out of me.
Look at these trends.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, books don't care as long as they make money, right? And that's ultimately what it's about. And so if you're telling me that all that action is going to be on Boston, but you would still ride with Boston because of toughness, there was nothing tough about them in game 5. They were mentally broken, dog. Mentally broken. You had Horford doing some cheap-ass shots to the ankles. You have Marcus Smart just being roughed up. Yeah, I mean, Draymond Green didn't have a game, but he had a game. You know, it's those things that, what do they say? What do they say? The things that don't show up on the stat sheet, He did them all, man. He did them all, bro. To the point where he got in these guys' heads and they got rattled. And that's the thing about Boston. If Boston isn't getting the calls, you see Tatum do it all the time. They're throwing their hands up. They just get talked out of their game. Ime got a tech. He got a tech, dog. He got a tech. And that's just uncharacteristic of him. So I just look for the same thing to happen, man. The same thing to happen.
Well, I plan on, if this is the case that the line's not moving and there's 95% of the cash, I certainly won't be on the Celtics full game. But I will be on the Celtics early. Billy Friedrich saying Game 6 Tatum is going to go off 40 plus. I would like to back Tatum in the player prop market, but I have to stick with not ever betting a player prop again. So
yeah, I hear that.
It's really difficult. It's really difficult. Mike M says Celtics off a loss, line 3.5, minus 3.5 to plus 3.5, 15-1 against the spread. Said the first loss came last game. Let's go, Daryl. What do you want to make official here? Harold Williams agreeing that Curry will have a big game. What do you want to make official for your record?
Official, I'm looking now. What do you have the first quarter at? Plus 1.5.
Great. And those of you, we just wanted to hear Daryl's take because tomorrow is Dutch Boy Fresh. So remember, the game is tomorrow, not
Here's
tonight.
the thing, man, and maybe Nate would like this. There's a small inkling of me that wouldn't mind if Golden State lost, and this is the reason why. Because it'd give me some angles to bet on the best bet show. You know what I'm saying? And I know I would have a huge week to go big, because then it's definitely Golden State at home. I think a lot of people would be on that anyways. But that's the only angle, because you know the potential for me to win more money in the contest than what I've put on the futures bet for Golden State in 4-2. It's night and day. So for whatever it's worth, Nate, you little asshole, I won't be too mad if Golden State did lose this game, even though I did make a futures play, because I'm going to smack the shit out of them for Sunday's game. But yeah, that's what it is.
And he's not little, by the way.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm telling you, man, me and Nate gonna have a couple drinks, you know. Have a couple seltzer waters, because that guy, he's been Celtics all year.
And he's made a lot of money with it.
He's made some great money with them. But nope, that's a small little inkling with me. But if you don't like it, Nate, that's fine. Golden State tomorrow.
Well, right now, first quarter here, you can get the Warriors. I can get the Warriors here at plus 1.5.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Let's jump on that.
At plus money, at plus 101.
Yeah, let's jump on that.
All right.
Let's jump on that. I'm seeing a team total or total for that game 53.5. Is that what you're getting?
Sorry, just a sec. Let me just get through this first. Daryl is on Warriors first quarter plus 1.5 at plus 101. And the team total in the first quarter is 53.5. Yes, over is minus 106. Oh, that's the team. Sorry, it's not team total. Team total for the Warriors is 25.5 at minus 109.
Yeah, 25.5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably circle back to that. Right, but I really do like him first quarter. I think you're going to see Steph go off. I do.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Steph goes off in the first, Clay goes off in the third.
LJ says, hard for me to believe the NBA doesn't want a Game 7 on Father's Day. Says Boston has to win this game with the help of the refs.
Yeah, but what does the money say? I mean, if we're talking about it, I mean, maybe there's some validity to that, because we have known that the ratings have gone down, right? And the ratings are not as where they should be or have been in the past. But at the same token, man, you just got to understand these guys still got to play. And even with the non-calls, you know, you had Steph getting the foul trouble early in the game that they won. You had Draymond Green, who's fouled out in 3 of these games, right? And they're still up 3-2. So there's just going to be a lot of fuck shit going on possibly. But ultimately, I'm not telling Golden State to win by 4. They just have to win the game, right? So if you kind of have an unction that Boston's going to win, then just by all means step on Boston for that fact. But I don't really buy too much into that, in my opinion, because it's more about the money, the now money. So
So the only thing that you are making official at this point is Warriors first quarter plus 1.5?
Plus 1.5. Yes. Golden State also money line.
Full game money line.
Full game money line.
Yeah, Turnsy, good luck to you too, my friend. But I didn't do it at 200 a pop. I did it at 125.
I'm just reading Jeffrey's comment that you got to go back and look at what they've said since 2015. So you also got to look at the comment that Curry said when they beat Cleveland the following year, where he said, "I hope that the locker room still smells like champagne." So no, that's not really factual. Like, these guys know that Game 6 is closeout time. It is. So I don't know where you got that from. They like to win on home court. Everybody likes to win on home court, but if you got a closeout game and away, you're going to take it. So Warriors have done that more often than not. Or done that. What I mean is they've said that more often than not, that Game 6 is a closeout game, right? You're not going to take your foot off the gas because you want to go back home and win at home. It's the finals. You don't want to give anybody any inch or any window to possibly you losing that trophy. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. And it's been stated by the Golden State Warriors organization. Kerr has come out and said that. Draymond Green has come out and said that. Remember what I've said also, Jimmy, about when they were playing Denver. And what did Draymond specifically say? He says the game isn't what bothers us. It's that flight, getting on a plane and going back home or going to wherever you got to go and prepare yourself to play another game. So the game itself that's light work. Right, that's cake work, but actually just packing up, getting on a flight, getting off a flight, all the other stuff that happens outside of that is what the players don't really like dealing with. And Denver's a lot closer than Boston, so those are keywords that have always stuck out with me when he said that, because it made a lot of sense and it was just kind of going into the mind of a player, and that is none of these guys want to get on a flight after losing the game and have to play a game again. You also heard Curry say this, to where that when they won the game in Boston, it made the flight a lot better going home. So I in a finals, there's no way in hell you can convince me that a team is going to want to kind of lay down a little bit just so that they can get on a flight and go back home and win a game. So no, I don't agree with that.
I love the breakdown. So with the best line available for Warriors full game is plus 147.
Yeah, so I got it at 145. I'm jumping on the 147.
Cool. You've got both of those. A lot of people in the chat asking if there will be a rebuttal from one Jose Bouquet. There
he is.
There he is.
You finally decided to come out. Where's your bottles, Brad? Where's your bottles?
Now that I can speak in peace, I'll say this. I'm at a low point, Jimmy. I'm in my my lowest point here, but I've called in reinforcements. I'll be watching Game 6 with Nasty Nate. So, and I'll say this: Celtics has never lost when me and Nasty Nate are watching the game together.
Well,
how are y'all going to watch this game? You know what we should do? We should live stream us watching the game together.
Sure. We'll be going to the strip clubs that night too, celebrating our victory, watching some bitches get knocked out.
Awful.
No, these are just facts, Daryl. Those are just facts. We'll show the flyer again. We'll stream it live on Pub Culture Radio.
God.
It's gonna be awesome.
God.
I can't wait. We'll even watch the video. Look at this.
Look
at this. Look at them. They're going at it, Daryl. We're going to be in the middle of that. We're going to be calling the full. I should say 210 Lachi Smokes are going to be calling the fight. Daryl, Nate, me, Cab, and it's going to be the whole time. It's going to be great. So,
Jose, are you sneaking in the bag? Are you even old enough to go to the strip club, Ray?
I do have to show my ID frequently. Wherever I go.
Awful.
That is a thing. But Daryl, I just want to let you know that when you said that, Nasty Nate, he probably hates me, and Jimmy said, oh, no, I love this shit. I do confirm hate you, Daryl. I do confirm hate you. And I want the smoke. You better be ready. If the Celtics win Game 6, me and Nasty Nate together,
It's gonna be curtains, bro.
We might take a flight over to California just to
don't do that.
Talk.
Don't do that, man.
Look, the internet thrives on the Celtics and any Boston team losing. The internet thrives on it.
Dog, don't pull up for a game 6.
Haters.
Come on, are you serious?
All the Lakers fans are now coming out of the woodwork after their shitty season. They're like, oh yes, the Celtics, they lose. Oh, California teams win. Oh, LeBron's the best. Oh, they know the Lakers are fucking trash too.
This is terrible, man. This, you know what? For whatever reason, these Celtics fans are just hooked on the sauce, hooked on this damn sauce, bro. Like they're not giving Golden State any benefit of the doubt whatsoever, none whatsoever. They're thinking that Golden State is the worst team that the Celtics have played in the postseason, and it's pathetic. It's sad. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, for any consolation, there's a little inkling of me that won't be mad if Golden State wins because I get a chance to really hammer home with this contest that I'm in. But I've already made a futures bet on Golden State. You said it, Jimmy. This was like even before the series started. I said Golden State in 6, and you're like, oh, so they'll win in Boston. And I said, yeah. So that's just where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at.
Look, it shapes up to make for a very, very fun evening tomorrow night with extreme looks from either side.
I'm gonna have my wine ready, bro. If this is the case, like I will have my wine ready. I will have a glass ready just to toast to that shit because I just think Boston hasn't showed me anything. This series should already be over, right? I know we got to go, but this series should already be over, dog. It should have been 5-1 game, and no one's talking about that either. No one's talking about how Boston should already be on their trip to Cancun. So no.
Warriors first quarter +1.5 and +101. Warriors full game +147, and he did call Warriors in 6. I'll have to go back to that worksheet to get the odds from that, and I will do that. Daryl, it was great. We wanted to make sure that we had you here on Wednesday. So if Boston wins tomorrow night, will you join us on Friday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
If they win on, man, that all that does is give me an opportunity to close out this best bet contest. Honestly, and that's the only way I'm really looking at it. Right, it's the only light at the end of the tunnel I can see. But Golden State will just win it in 7. But Boston, we hadn't even talked about the turnovers. Like, get your turnovers under control. Like, y'all can't even handle the ball. So 18 fucking turnovers and y'all lose games. So, but yeah, if they, for whatever reason, if they lose on tomorrow, then yeah, let's get down Friday and talk about what's going to happen on Sunday.
Do you think Wiggins has a chance? Do you think anybody not named Steph Curry has a chance for Finals MVP?
No, and it's sad that we're given that narrative, and that's fine. That's fine. I get it. Wiggins has been outstanding, and that's another player that no one's really talking about and what he's doing on defense. But no, I think it's Steph Curry's to have. He deserves it. If we're talking about how trash Golden State has been and all the narratives that's come out about how their Clay hasn't been himself, Wiggins, that Golden State got fleeced in that trade with Wiggins. Draymond is just a bum, then we're basically saying that, they need Steph Curry to win. So you got to give it to him. And I think that if you see a huge game by Curry, which I'm believing he is going to have a huge game, then game 6 will be the game that solidifies that. I believe it was already solidified when the series started, but honestly, Steph is going to bounce back from that abysmal game that he feels he had last game. So it's just one of these things to where he comes out, he plays really well in the beginning. It might get a little physical, but tomorrow will solidify his Finals MVP.
I love it, Daryl. Thank you for joining us, my man. And we may or may not see you on Friday. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Peace and love to all y'all. It's been a pleasure. I had my goodbye speech on last week, so just ditto that. Until again, Jay, I appreciate you, man. This season has been great. It's been great interaction with everybody. And let's do it again. Let's run it back next year.
We will do that for sure. Our man Daryl being absolutely spectacular here on the show. Thank you for joining us, Daryl. Let's do a final review of all action here on the show. First off, NHL. We have 3 looks from me 2 from Mr. Gogster, and another spot where we have a difference of opinion here in the chat, which makes things really fun. Here, sorry, let me pull this back here. Mr. Gogster's action. Get this. Here we go. He has 2 spots. He is on the first period, no goal. No goal the first 10 minutes at plus 130, and Colorado in regulation at plus 120. I have the Lightning full game plus 135, Lightning first period plus 125, and first period under 1.5 at plus 115. In MLB, the day's gone off to a shit start, and I don't know why I didn't fade Tyson Miller. Look at these numbers in AAA. I mean, 5.02 ERA. I mean, I don't know why I didn't fade him and back the Astros with you guys. Really annoying. Astros are taking care of business here off the hop. But I'm on Reds first 5 plus 1.5. I haven't bet yet. I got to bet after the show. Royals, Giants stayed off. Twins, Mariners, no action. Atlanta first 5 minus 130 has just been staring at me all day, but something's not right about it. And it's just too low of a line. And so I don't know if I'm going to move on it. Cabs on the Rays first 5 plus 0.5 minus 128. I'm on the Rays first 5 at plus 110. Cabs on the Jays team total over 5.5 minus 119. Matty Ice Taint play of the days. Blue Jays first 5 minus 1.5 at minus 110. Brewers Mets we stayed off. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the days. Boston minus 1. Say hey play of the days. Red Sox first 5 under 5.5 at minus 118. Pirates Cardinals no action. I'm going to move on the Cubs first 4.5 plus 0.5 at minus 125. I believe I will be moving on that. I just see more value there than the first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 120 for 5 cents. I expect that. Dave Burke parlayed the Astros first 5 minus 0.5 with top sets Guardians money line. I love that look. Nice. I love hearing that. Harold, my guy. Guardians, Rockies, no action. First 5 under 4.5. I'm going to move on in Angels, Dodgers. Then we have spreadsheet play today in WNBA from Ron Crawford's Indiana. Daryl's on the Warriors first quarter plus 1.5 plus 101, full game plus 147, and I will be solidifying my Celtics action on the show tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. We have absolutely no show without you. We fought the good fight here, 3 hours, 22 minutes in. Thank you, all of you guys. Harold Williams, Dave Burke, Matt Stoney, F. Donahue, Nasty Nate, Achilles Paris, 420. I'm so excited that Nasty Nate's going to be heading down to the Southtown San Antonio with the boys tomorrow. HD Tube, Mike M, Jeffrey Shutsky, Jared TG, Max Swelly, Cashman 19, Jay Peasy in the house.
Now that Daryl's gone,
yes,
I have a question.
Sure.
And I didn't want him to hear me say this.
Sure.
Does this feel like the Thunder Heat NBA Finals when the Heat, or what I should say, well, it's the Heat's first title, and Durant and OKC go there for the first time, young squad. Does this feel like this right now?
That's an interesting comparison. Hey, buddy. No.
I'm glad that we can. And tell your significant other I said happy birthday, please.
Jose says happy birthday.
What are we doing for it? Actually, I'd rather hear about that than the Celtics potentially losing the finals.
Well, just a family dinner here. I'll make steaks.
You can cook.
I can make steaks and throw some chives in the Caesar salad.
Some chives. Well, I don't fuck with salads. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's the it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be great. We went out for dinner last night. First time we went out for dinner in 4 months. So
what'd you get?
What we got? It's buck of shucks. So we started with 24 oysters.
Oh.
Then we had a tomato heirloom salad, and we had a steak tartare with the yolk and it's magic.
Carter.
And then we closed off with a half duck. Half a duck,
huh?
Yeah.
Carter, I like your energy, Carter. I like your energy. Well, you want to hear a funny story about me and oysters? As we derail the show, as I usually do at the end.
Sure.
Why my older brother, who is 39, and I call him a 40-year-old man. He was babysitting me once upon a time, and he had to take me on a date because I was with him. We went to this very fancy restaurant. He bet me that I wouldn't try oysters, and as everyone knows, thank you, Carter. As everyone knows, I'm not one that tries out new things. He bet me a video game, so I tried it. I tried to slurp it down. I threw up immediately in the middle of the restaurant. Immediately in the middle of the restaurant, ruined his date, and was promptly asked to just go ahead and leave.
Go ahead and leave.
Just go ahead.
Okay. Very well, we got to put a bow on this bad boy. Thank you guys for the kind wishes to Miss Bag. That means a ton. Respect. Jose, great job producing the show as always. We have tons of shows coming up here. We got Prize Picks with Sharpie in 40 minutes. Then we have WNBA at 4 p.m. Eastern in an hour and 32 minutes with our man Tease. And at 5:30, we have Say Hey Plays of the Day. So we got a big day here.
I like Carter's interest in the mic. I can already see him gravitating towards it slowly. I think it's gonna happen. I can't wait for to have Carter on Say Hey Plays and maybe betting at the bad appearance.
Yeah, I'm down. He's gonna be down. He's gonna be.
I need a body today. I'm going dolo today. So Carter, you might make your debut today. Why not?
I'll talk to him. I'll get him studying. Make sure he's got to study. And thank you guys so much for everything. We're gonna put a bow on this bad boy. Get that cash out there. I've gotten off to a bad start today, which is unfortunate. Let's turn it around here. Big show tomorrow. Hunter Engelhart making his season debut here for MLB. We got Dutch and LJ from H-Town also making an appearance here. Much love, you guys. Let's get that cash. Leche, A-Los Bookmakers. Let's